Hello and welcome to lovely Boonville, New York. 6:48 New York time, and the Lumberjacks are facing off against the Glens Falls Dragons. I'm Brady Foxwell, alongside Evan Simbita. The Lumberjacks are in a bit of an interesting position. On the mound, starting for the Lumberjacks, is Ian Farber, who is a relief pitcher on the Lumberjacks team. But the way things are going, it might be a bit difficult to manage today from the perspective of Coach Christian Griffin, as half the arms are injured, half the arms are unavailable, and half the arms have just recently pitched. So it'll be an interesting day so far today. Evan?
Yeah, it should be a lot of arms that you usually see hitting and in the field that'll have to pitch here tonight. Hopefully they can keep it manageable, keep this game close, and get a win. It's been 7 straight losses for the Lumberjacks coming into tonight. There are multiple games entrenched in last place in the PGCBL East, so every game at this point crucial in what is a tight playoff race for 4th.
Facing off against the Glens Falls Dragons, let's look at the field for the Boonville Lumberjacks. Pitching on the mound is Ian Farber. Catching is going to be Oliver Lawrence. At first, it's Carson Beatty. Second base, Jihad Guy. Shortstop, Devon Abaga. And playing third base is Zeb Swingham. In left field, Harrison Haig. Center fielder is Will Hill. And in right field, Noah Reed. As for the Glens Falls Dragons, the batting order is as follows. Rene Vega leading off, followed by Giorgio Panapinto, Tyler McKillop, Tyler Worth, David York, Tay Robinson, Derek Diaz, Jack Ploppert, Billy Barthel, and Shane Hoover. On the mound for the Glens Falls Dragons is RJ Ensel out of Flagler. Evan, what are you expecting out of Ian Farber in his first ever start in quite a while?
Well, just to keep this game close, get out there and eat as many innings as he can. We know with this depleted bullpen, and they're in the middle of a 16-game-in-a-row stretch with multiple doubleheaders across 14 days of PGCBL play in a row. He's just got to conserve the arms in this bullpen. This isn't primarily where he's going to serve. Hopefully this is the last time he serves in this position for the rest of the year as a starter, but he's just got to keep this game close and give the Lumberjacks a chance.
Leading off for the Dragons, Rene Vega hitting 200 on the year. That's 10 for 50, 51st at-bat coming up. First pitch is in there for a strike, lands the fastball. That's what the Lumberjacks need a lot of. They're going to need a lot of first pitch strikes and to get after hitters. Available to pitch today is, the third baseman, Zeb Swingham, who hasn't pitched since high school, as well as Oliver Lawrence, who caught yesterday. He is also available to pitch, as well as Eli Negron. 3 position players who are potentially to be found on the mound today. I'm excited. Lumberjacks feel blessed to be in this position to begin with. So, Evan, they might even have to call you out of the bullpen.
Yeah, might be me or you. I know you pitched in high school, so I think you'd be the better choice.
Yeah, don't look up my name on Max Preps. Here's the 0-2, lined into right field. Base hit for Rene Vega. Starts off the day for the Glens Falls Dragons with a single.
A nice piece of hitting right there. Vega, not the power hitter. He's coming into this game with a 200 average, but leads the team in walks as well. He's been an on-base machine, and with no extra base hits, the single is his primary weapon.
As long as you find a way to get on, that's what matters. Here's Giorgio Panapinto. Playing center field for the Glens Falls Dragons today. Comes in the day hitting just under 300 as he's hit by the first pitch fastball, and the first 2 hitters for the Glens Falls Dragons are on.
Yeah, not a great start for Christian Griffin and his pitcher out there, Ian Farber. He's going to have to battle through this one.
So 2 reach base, and Farber immediately in trouble, which is kind of unorthodox. I know this isn't a position that he's used to, as Farber is primarily a hitter. In fact, he hit a home run, a grand slam, I should say, yesterday. But on the mound, in 4 appearances for a total of 3 innings pitched, he has a perfect 0 ERA. So again, unorthodox position for him to come in as the starter. But to let 2 guys on when he's only allowed 3 so far this year, a little interesting, but he'll have to settle down early. Here's a 3-hole hitter, Tyler McKillop. 1-0, misses upstairs, counts quickly 2-0. Technically has a place to put him, but obviously don't want to load the bases with no outs. McKillop comes into the day hitting .246. He's got 2 homers to his name as well. 2-0 is in there, lands the strike, counts 2-1. Vega on second, Panapinto on first. 2-1 just misses outside. Count rolls to 3-1. So this is the 5th game in a row for the Lumberjacks that they're playing, and Evan, they've got quite a few more left as they've had 16 straight to play, and we're only 5 of those down.
Yeah, I think the Lumberjacks wouldn't mind some rainouts or some just any ways to get arms rest. We know the bats are pretty healthy for the most part with the exception of Marcus Smith, but it's just been not a great time at the plate or on the mound for this team.
3-2 from Farber, misses upstairs, and it's the bases loaded early. Glens Falls Dragons threatening. Now, the Dragons coming into yesterday were dead last in the PGCBL East, with the Lumberjacks only ahead of them by 1 game. Lumberjacks were then swept by the Utica Blue Sox yesterday and have fallen beneath the Glens Falls Dragons in the standings. Lumberjacks 8-17 coming into today. Glens Falls not much better, 9-18. A Lumberjack win today would put them above Glens Falls in the standings from 6-5. Not great improvement, but at least you're jumping someone. Here's the 0-1 from Farber. Misses in the dirt. Oliver Lawrence blocks that one from becoming more trouble. You mentioned it, Lumberjacks have lost 7 in a row. And the way things are going with unhealthy arms and struggling at the plate, they're just looking to keep that number at 7. Worth follows off the 1-1 offering. Count runs 1-2. So Vega hit a single. Panapinto was hit by a pitch. And McKillop walks. That's how the bases are loaded for Glens Falls right now. The 1-2. This is up high. 2-2.
And Farber, not really a guy who hunts for the strikeout too much. He's got just 2 of them in 4 appearances so far this year.
It would be nice to get one right here. 2-2, fouled back. We'll do it again. And Farber, a guy who just doesn't really pitch a lot in general. He's been fantastic when he comes out of the bullpen. Of course, he's yet to allow a run. But throwing him that starting position, I mean, apparently, Coach Christian Griffin was asking around all of the Lumberjack players to get a gauge on who is capable of pitching. 2-2 misses up high, counts full. He was asking who is capable of pitching because he really didn't know who he could use today. As Jackson Baptist is currently not with us, Logan Brock not with us, Jonathan Tetzloff, his arm is hurt. Eric Shepard went the other day. 3-2 misses upstairs, that's ball 4. And he walks in a run, his first of the year. Glens Falls leads 1-0 with the bases still loaded and no outs.
Up to bat, number 30.
And the concerning thing about that is you gotta, at least make them beat you, but it's 2 walks and a hit by pitch that have really loaded up the bases here.
Farber showing that he might not be built for the starting pitching role. 3 straight free passes, you mentioned it. Here's David York up next. He's the extra hitter. On the year, hitting .246, the .382 on-base percentage. With 2 homers to his name, now would be a good time for one for the Glens Falls side. First pitch swinging, fouls that one off, counts 0-1. The last time the Glens Falls Dragons made the 3-hour trip to Boonville, it was a doubleheader, one that the Lumberjacks swept. But it seems that every time Lumberjacks have gone to Glens Falls, which is twice on the year so far, they have lost there as well. So each team plays well at home. Lumberjacks looking to take the 3-2 series lead versus the Glens Falls Dragons. Counts 1-1 as that one misses in the dirt. Sun playing a little bit of a factor for the Lumberjacks, as that one is skied foul out of play. Count runs to 1-2. Sun playing a bit of a factor. Almost 7 p.m. here. Sun not fully down at Hanson Aggregates affecting the right side of the infield in Jihad Guy and Carson Beatty. Guy is playing so far into the shade that there leaves a little bit of room on the right side for a potential base hit. Guy also trying to stay in double play position, as the corner infielders will likely be throwing home if they get a ground ball. 1-2 is hit very well into left field. Moving back is Harrison Haig. He looks up. That ball is gone. It's a grand slam off the bat of David York, and Glens Falls jumps out early. Score is 5-0 before the Lumberjacks have recorded an out.
Absolutely. Not the start that you want if you're Ian Farber out there. Coming into this game, hadn't surrendered a run and has surrendered 5 now without recording an out yet.
Lumberjacks often play from behind, but as shown when they play from behind, their record reflects 8-17. Glens Falls Dragons, one of a team that you would hope that they would at least play competitive with. Of course, there's 9 innings of baseball to be played, but being down 5-0 to start, I would say it's not the best of positions to be in. Well, Farber's still looking for his first out of the game, still an infinite ERA looking at it today. Here's Tay Robinson now looking for his first at-bat. He's playing right field tonight. Robinson on the year hitting .219, .375 on base percentage, 1 homer to his name. Swings, fouls that one off, count moves 1-1. Yesterday, the Lumberjacks lost both games of a doubleheader versus the Utica Blue Sox. Game 1 was never very competitive. Lumberjacks responded late but lost 7-9. Yes, he does go around. In Game 2, it was a lot more competitive, a 1-0 matchup for pretty much the entire game until the 6th when Zeb Swangam tied it with a solo shot of his own. Floodgates opened up in the top of the 7th. Utica took that one 5-1. Lumberjacks already trail by 5 here. 1-2, misses in the dirt, 2-2. And Evan, the way things are kind of going for the Lumberjacks already, it seems that those position players are going to find themselves on the mound.
Yeah, it seems like this one getting out of hand quickly. Farber, you don't really expect him to go terribly long.
2-2 is in there, called strike 3. Robinson doesn't like it. But not much he can do except take the backwards K. That's out number 1 here for the Lumberjacks. Finally. 6 batters into the game. It's the first out. Here's Derek Diaz now, the catcher. Hitting .164 on the year with a .309 on base percentage. And the last time Glens Falls came here, it was a doubleheader, and they had 2 pitchers to deal with, Logan Brock and Jackson Baptist. Neither of those pitchers are with the Lumberjacks currently. And those are some guys that they really wish they still had around. Count runs to 2-0 on Diaz. That one popped into right. Moving over is Jihad Guy. He's under that one, out number 2 here in the top of the first.
Up to bat, number 7.
Looks like Diaz jammed by the fastball, skied it to very, very shallow right. Jihad Guy playing second base for the 2nd game in a row. He's also leading off today. Proves that one to be no trouble for him. Here's Jack Ploppert now, the designated hitter. First pitch misses outside. Ploppert on the year in 15 games played. He's had 40 total at-bats, gotten a hit in 7 of those, good for a .175 average. Has drawn a few walks, got a .340 on base percentage. Quickly up 2-0 in the count. Coming into the game, obviously looking for a clean first inning for many reasons. 1, you want your starter to go deep into games. But 2, the Glens Falls Dragons have a .222 batting average. That is last in the PGCBL East. The Lumberjacks at .234 aren't much better. But again, to give up a 5 spot early, that hurts.
Yeah, those are the 2 least batting average teams in the entire PGCBL. Glens Falls in the bottom of every team, East or West.
2-1 lands for a strike, counts 2-2. So 1 pitch away from getting out of a nightmare top of the first for the Lumberjacks. Gotta hope the bats can respond. 7 runs that they scored in Game 1 of Utica's contest were the best they've done in quite a while. Had been averaging 1.25 runs a game for the last 4 before that one. Count moves full to Jack Plopper, the designated hitter. Harbor's 3-2. Skied back towards us. We'll do it again. You know, with these foul balls, it's always kind of funny. The kids chase after them because when you get a foul ball, you can turn it into Mom's Kitchen, the food option here at Hanson Aggregates Field, and get some candy or whatever of your choice, as that's a 5-6 pitch walk. You can turn the baseball in for some candy. You know, what I would want, Evan, like a burger and fries, something of that nature. You know, something with some real sustenance if you're at the ballpark all day.
Yeah, I don't think that's an option, but it would be nice.
No, I believe it is candy, but at least it gives a good reason for kids to come to the ballpark, so there's no complaints on my side. Love when the lumber yard is packed. First pitch to Billy Barthel runs inside.
Yep, speaking about packing the lumber yard here, it's going to be Little Leaguers night here at Hanson Aggregates on Sunday for the game against Utica. That's going to be 5 p.m. All kids with a Little League jersey get in free, so make sure to show up for that one.
That's exciting. The runner goes, but there will be no throw. Pitch misses upstairs and falls out of Oliver Lawrence's glove. Never had the chance to try and get the runner Ploppert. Lumberjacks obviously want to hold this to just 5, I should say. 2-0. Swung, grounded, foul. 2-1.
Well, I was going to go get you a milkshake. Yeah, right.
Lumberjacks down 5-0. 2-1. Flied foul out of play. Barthel on the year hitting 167 is probably a little bit better as a pitcher. A sub-4 ERA at 3.65 in 12 innings of work. Here's a 2-2. Misses outside. Count runs 3-2 yet again. Barthel, 1 extra base hit on the year. That was a double. Only got 8 hits and 48 at-bats. 3-2. Goes to the backstop. So that's ball 4. Maybe a potential throw at third. Lawrence holds on to it, so it's runners on the corners here. And this inning just feels like the Lumberjacks can't get out of it.
Up to bat, number 8, Shane.
That's free pass number 5. So far, only 2 hits on the Glens Falls side. Taking advantage of all the free passes they're getting. A hit by pitch, 2 walks, and a grand slam. And then 2 more walks to follow. Here's Shane Hoover. First pitch misses outside. Hoover, the shortstop, hitting 125 on the year. Doesn't play very often, 6 games played on the year so far. As he hits that one, that might find some gap. I believe it will. Harrison Haig gives chase. He runs over and saves that from being a potential extra base hit. Lumberjacks limit the damage to 5 ultimately. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Jihad Guy, Devon Abaga, and Michael Clarkson look to strike back. Brady Foxwell alongside Evan Sambita. We'll see you after the break. Out of the first here at Hanson Aggregates Field, the Lumberjacks trailed the Glens Falls Dragons 5-0 after the bats came alive for the Dragons. A grand slam from David York really propelled them to that inning. On the mound for the Glens Falls Dragons, it's R.J. Ensel out of Flagler University. He's facing Jihad Guy as his first threat. Ensel, a real innings eater, tied for second on the team for the Dragons with 25.2. First pitch to Jihad Guy, nowhere close for ball one.
And especially in an inning like that top of the first was for Boonville, you've just got to go out there and get something on the board just to prove that you can really at this point. It's been a couple games in a dead zone for these bats.
Quickly up, and the count is Jihad Guy, 2-0. He led off yesterday, went 0 for 3 on the day in search of a hit. First in a couple of days. This is his second game in a row with the leadoff spot. Here's the 2-0. Off speed lands in for a strike. Jihad Guy to bat. On deck is Devon Abaga, and it's Michael Clarkson in the hole. Ensel goes back to the off speed and counts even 2-2. Lumberjacks 8-17 on the year. It's lost 7 in a row and have 11 more games in a row to be played after this one. 2-2, Guy swings and misses. Doesn't do a whole lot of that, but does right here. First out of the game for the Lumberjacks is going to be a strikeout. Devon Abaga up next.
11, Avon Abaga.
Abaga hitting just under 200 on the year, 189 in that time. He's a doubles machine. Over half of his hits are doubles. And he's got a triple as well. First pitch swing at the off speed, misses. On base percentage of .351. He was the starting pitcher for game 1 versus the Blue Sox yesterday. Here's the 0-1. Off speed lands in there. Ensel working quickly and pounding the strike zone. Oh, 2. This is outside. Count moves to 1-2.
And Ensel comes into this game, as you mentioned, with over a 6 ERA, so jumping on him is completely possible. Lumberjacks can get things going and really need to.
Lumberjacks already given up 5. Here's Ensel's 1-2, misses downstairs. Glens Falls doesn't play very well on the road. 4-11 when not at home. 2-2 to Abaga. Runs very far inside, almost hits him but doesn't. Counts full now. Swings and misses on the 3-2 offering. Back-to-back strikeouts, swinging to start the bottom of the first. And well, yeah, Evan, you're talking about jumping on the pitcher. Of course, that's back-to-back strikeouts. But in general, against the Glens Falls Dragons, the opposing teams hit .342. That is last in the PGCBL, or the highest for opposing teams. So yeah, you would hope that a team like the Glens Falls Dragons is one where the Lumberjacks are able to have some success. But here's Michael Clarkson, and the first pitch runs inside. Clarkson had a pretty good day at the plate yesterday. Hit a homer in game 2. In game 1, he worked a few walks. Or excuse me, hit a homer in game 1, I should say, and worked a few walks. Game 2, he got some rest hitting, was on the mound instead. Gave up no runs in 2 innings. He's quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. 3-0. Clarkson on the year hitting .237, 3 homers to his name. He takes a 4-pitch walk and tosses the bat to Masai Marshall. First batter on for the Lumberjacks is Michael Clarkson. Now it's Masai Marshall, who definitely had a good day at the plate yesterday, grabbed himself a pair of doubles against Utica.
And that's what you've got to keep doing if you're the Lumberjacks. Just can't let them beat you, especially on those pitches outside of the zone.
Yeah, Clarkson never got anything to hit right there. There's no complaints as he'll take his free pass. Gets on very often, a .384 on base percentage. That was just raised, of course. It's time for Masai Marshall from Northwestern University in the transfer portal. That's ball 5. That one misses downstairs. Marshall on the year hitting just above the Mendoza line, .229. That's a few triples, few doubles, hits extra bases similar to Devon Abaga. Marshall had 2 doubles yesterday. In the field, he's been perfect. All fly balls that have come to him in the outfield, he's made a play on. Now, Evan, a guy that I'm noticing is getting the day off is Bronx Lewis. Someone in the outfield, he gets to pretty much everything. Harrison Haig made a very nice play in the top of the first. So as long as the Lumberjack defense is playing well, they should have a chance in this game. 1-1 to Marshall, off speed. Marshall skies that one. It won't be in fair territory, but it's too much to handle for Tyler Worth, the first baseman. That right side of the field, that wall, there's not a lot of room before you run into a metal wall. Worth, despite hearing he got room from his teammates, not able to fully commit to that, understandably so, and it gives Masai Marshall some more life in the box.
Yeah, speaking of Bronx Lewis, he's one of the guys that has run into that fence down there, down that first base line, and was out for a couple of games because of it. So can't blame Worth for not wanting to run too hard at that one.
No, safety first in the PGCBL. It's never that serious. Clarkson on first. 1-2 to Masai Marshall. Swings, grounds it slowly to the left side. Fielded by McKillop. Throws over to first and gets Masai Marshall in time. A scoreless bottom of the first. Glens Falls Dragons lead 5-0. Brady Foxwell alongside Evan Sambita. We'll see you after the break. Top of the second here at Hanson Aggregates Field. Glens Falls Dragons lead 5-0. It's Renee Vega leading off the top of the second. Glens Falls almost batted around entirely. They went 1 through 10, but didn't quite get back to the top of the order. It was a fly out off the bat of Shane Hoover that ended the first. Harrison Hagen left, was able to get to that one. Haig, a guy that I'm happy to see in the lineup. out of Bay College, a junior college recently committed to Roosevelt University.
Yeah, he's been out of the lineup for quite some time. Glad to see him getting some run and making some good plays in the outfield.
Here's the 1-0 to Vega. That one catches the inside part of the strike zone. Strike one.
And we know
Haig's kind of funny. He wasn't rooting for USA when the rest of the team was. Jonathan Tetzlaff, a true patriot who's likely joining the military after college, wasn't the biggest fan of that.
can't blame him.
Wow. 1-1 to Vega, misses upstairs. No soccer today, Evan. I know you're a little upset by that.
I am. Yeah, I'm peeved that I don't have anything to watch.
My team, USA, got out. My second team, Mexico, got out. My third team, Colombia, got out. I think I'm a fan of Norway for the next 2 weeks. 2-1 to Vega. Catches the outside part of the zone. 2-2. But my real allegiance lies with the Boonville Lumberjacks. Just kidding. I'm unbiased and completely impartial to these. Vega calls time. It's a lot hotter than it was yesterday. 81 says my phone. Yesterday it was like a perfect and crisp 70 degrees. It's already back to being humid and sticky again as Vega goes down on strikes. That's Farber's second strikeout of the game.
Much needed one right there to set the tone for this inning.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, exactly. Set the tone. No more 5-run innings. Farber shows that he has showed that he's been an elite pitcher. That first inning, just let's call it a fluke, and Farber go back to pitching. God knows they need him to pitch quite a few. Ken Evan, I said it. Make sure your right arm is healthy because you might be like fifth out of the pen today.
I think if this game gets to a certain point, Brady, I think it's you and me out there.
Yeah. Here's Giorgio Benapinto. First pitch was inside for ball one. Farber doesn't go from the windup at all, purely from the stretch. The 1-0 is grounded foul towards the third base side. Benapinto was hit by a pitch his first time around. Didn't even get the chance to get the bat off his shoulder. Is second in all qualified hitters on the Glens Falls Dragons side with batting average at .286. Trails his first baseman, Tyler Worth. Skies that one to the first baseman, Carson Beatty, who comes in. Makes the play on it. That's out number 2. 2 down quickly here in the top of the second.
Up to bat, number 16.
And now Farber's kind of generating that soft contact that we know he usually likes to do. I mean, that's kind of where he sits as a pitcher. Soft contact, ground outs, pop outs. Just trying to get the batters to roll over. He's done a good job of that here in this inning. It was just, you call it fluke. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't working last inning.
Yeah, gave him free passes. David York had 2 homers on the year already and quickly made that 3 when he got the off-speed pitch that he was looking for. McKillop fouls off the first offering he sees. Farber ahead in the count 0-1. McKillop walked his first time around. Another guy with 2 homers. Hitting .246 on the year. Played most games, just about all of them, with the Glens Falls Dragons. 22 out of 27. Good for 61 at-bats in that time. Evan, on adding to the list of things that haven't gone right for the Lumberjacks. The last time these two teams played each other, it was in Glens Falls for a trip that you made that I didn't because I was very, very sick, throwing up everything, which is a virus that I believe passed through the entire Lumberjack squad.
Yeah. I think pretty much everyone's all right at this point, though.
But just injury luck, health luck, illness luck, everything going wrong for the Lumberjacks. But Ian Farber with a fantastic top of the second goes 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. As McKillop goes down swinging, we'll head to the bottom of the second where the Lumberjacks hope to strike back. Bottom of the second here at Hanson Aggregates Field. Leading off the inning is going to be Carson Beatty, the first baseman out of Kalamazoo.
Carson Beatty.
Got a new walk-up song, Teach Me How to Dougie. He said it's new, and we were talking to him pregame about it. He was between two songs. Do you remember the second?
It was Plush by Stone Temple Pilots.
A song that I'm unfamiliar with. I told him to do Teach Me How to Dougie because that was one that I knew. I also kind of know how to Dougie, just throwing that out there, as he's quickly down 0-2, which is kind of the fear here. Because what Beatty was saying is that he doesn't want to play Teach Me How to Dougie and then strike out. Well, he's quickly down 0-2, so needs to protect the plate here. Doesn't want to go down swinging. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside. I asked him if he knew how to do the Dougie. I'm not sure he answered that one fully. Here's the 1-2. That one is in there, so he doesn't go down swinging, but does go down looking. So 0 for 1. Not a lot of success with the new walk-up song. It'll be Will Hill now from Texas University. Excuse me, the University of Texas.
7, Will Hill.
If you want to say that one was a strike, that was the outside corner of the plate. I'm not sure how that one clipped it.
Yeah, what I'm seeing so far is that the zone today is a little wide, but for both teams is kind of what I'm seeing. Obviously, Evan, we're a little far back in the broadcast booth, but you know, again, as long as it helps. I mean, God knows the Lumberjacks need any help they can get on the pitching side. So if they get 2 balls on each side of the plate, I'll take that. 1-0 to Will Hill. Skies that one very high in the air. The entire infield converges on it. Who's it going to be? The third baseman, Tyler McKillop, comes pretty far into the grass to make the play, but that's out number 2, and that's 2 quickly in the bottom of the second.
And just not a lot of foot traffic. It's been 1 walk. That's been the only Lumberjack to get on. It was Michael Clarkson back in the first.
Zeb Swangam up to bat out of the University of North Carolina, Asheville. He homered yesterday, tied up the game in the bottom of the 6th against Utica before the 7th inning. That didn't go very well for the Lumberjacks. First pitch swinging, grounds it to McKillop, bounces off his foot. It's going to be a tough play. A very tough play from McKillop, but one that he makes in time, throws out the speedy Zeb Swangam. And the Lumberjacks go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the top of the third. Brady Foxwell alongside Evan Simbita. Top of the third here at the Lumberyard. Leading off the inning is going to be Tyler Worth, the first baseman who took a walk his first time around. It was a bit of an interesting top of the first for Glens Falls. They put up 5 runs. Ian Farber looked a little uncomfortable. Top of the second, however, was flawless. He struck out 2 and went 1-2-3. Looking to replicate the second inning right here. First pitch to Worth is in for a strike, lands the fastball. Worth on the year, as I mentioned earlier, hitting .343, leads the team in that category. Fouls that one down the line. He's down 0-2. He's played in 22 of the 27 games. This is 23 of 28, I should say. He has 1 homer in that time, lots of extra base hits, 4 doubles, a .443 slugging percentage, and an OPS just under 9. Here's the 0-2. Good waist pitch, but too far down in the zone. Count moves to 1-2. Lumberjacks play the Utica Blue Sox in Utica tomorrow. Focusing on the batter right now is Tyler Worth. 1-2. No, he doesn't go around. Count moves to 2-2. Would have been nice to get that call on the Lumberjack side. From here, I can't say definitively whether or not he did go around, so I'll defer to the umpire's judgment.
Yeah, they really wanted that one. Sounded like from the dugout.
They might be biased on that side. Here's the 2-2. That one very far inside and hits Tyler Worth, so he's on base for the second time today. That's the second hit by pitch coming from Farber, and it'll be David York now, who homered in his first at-bat. So from a potential strikeout opportunity to a runner on, David York already homered. He's got 3 on the year. York, otherwise one of the better hitters on this team, hitting a bit over 250. First pitch runs downstairs. York also can pitch. He has 1 appearance on the year, gave 3 innings of work, and only allowed 1 run. Type of performance the Boonville Lumberjacks could use from some of their position players. Here's the 1-0. That one runs far inside and is off the glove of Oliver Lawrence. So York moves to second, and there's still no outs here in the top of the third. Oliver Lawrence is as good at the plate as he is, and believe me, I love seeing him up to bat because I'm always confident that he can get a hit. He's hitting just under 300 on the year, including an extra base hit. He's in his limited at-bats. Behind the plate, you can kind of tell that he is a high schooler. He's committed to Merrimack University, a Division I school, where I wish him tons of success. I think he's still figuring out some things behind the plate, which is why I'm glad that he is here with the Boonville Lumberjacks, getting some extra reps, kind of differentiate himself from all the other guys who are coming into college.
Yeah, I think it's definitely much needed, especially just from a confidence point of view. I mean, we can even see it just throwing the ball back to the pitcher out on the mound, but he's gotten a lot better as the summer has progressed. This is definitely the best we've seen him.
So it's a 4-pitch walk to David York, back-to-back free passes, reminiscent of the first inning.
Tay Robinson.
Ian Farber will have to settle down versus Tay Robinson. He got him in the first inning. It was a backwards K. Struck him out looking. Robinson disagreed. Might go up a little more aggressive at the plate for his second time around.
Yeah, Farber's walked almost half of his batters that he's faced. 7 of the 15 batters have been handed the free pass, as well as 1 hit by pitch as well.
First pitch to Tay Robinson, swinging. Swings and misses. Wondering if they'll put anyone in the bullpen. So far, nothing. Yeah, I really don't know who's going to be first out of the pen today. It'll be an interesting mix. Here's the 0-1 to Robinson. That one lands for a strike, and Robinson doesn't like that one.
And I know he's got to be frustrated with these. He leads the Dragons in strikeouts with 24.
Farber in search to add to that total. It would be his second K of the game against Robinson. 3rd so far. Fouls that one off, chops it towards Farber, but I believe it hit his foot first. So instead it's a foul ball, and the count remains 0-2. You know, Farber, they call him the Lumberjack. They also call it Michael Clarkson, but Farber I almost agree with more as like the Lumberjack profile. Evan, if you had to pick one, Michael Clarkson or Ian Farber, who is the Lumberjack?
I think it's got to be Michael Clarkson.
Farber gets Tay Robinson for his second strikeout of the game, first of this inning, which is much needed. And yeah, you look at the Farber versus Clarkson comparisons. I'll be the first to admit I actually struggled to tell the difference between the two for like the first couple of days for the season. Obviously, that was a while ago. Here's Derek Diaz now, the catcher. Big Mike, they say. Farber, Big Ian doesn't have quite of the ringtone. Two guys that I see in Warrior Zone, one of the sponsors for Lumberjacks. See those guys there all the time. You know, in the gym lifting, but also eating right, making sure they get their vegetables, their fruits, you know, whether it's the tomatoes, the cucumbers, the eggplants, the eggs, the steak, whatever it is they're eating. Just guys who care about their physical appearance, their health, their strength, and I think it shows in their play. So it's Derek Diaz who flew out to Jihad Guy, the second baseman, in his first at-bat. He takes 3 straight balls, and Farber at risk of walking the bases loaded. First time he did that, it resulted in a grand slam. Diaz, I wonder if he has the green light 3-0. I assume not with the amount of walks allowed already today. He does not. 3-0's in there. Fastball lands for a strike. Count moves to 3-1. Sun pretty much gone down entirely, only reflecting on the trees. It really is a beautiful view here at Hanson Aggregates Field, but more importantly, not affecting the Lumberjacks. 3-1. This is downstairs, so that's what he does. Walks the bases loaded. It'll be Jack Ploppert, the designated hitter, with 1 out here and the bases loaded, as I just mentioned.
Yeah, already walked number 8 on the day for Farber, and 3 already in this inning with just 1 out. It's another tough jam for him right here.
He walked Ploppert his first time around. Can't do that here. First pitch, misses up high, 1-0. Decent turnout here tonight. It's Wednesday, the middle of the summer. Here's the 1-0, swings and fouls that one back. You know, here at Hanson Aggregates, most fans aren't viewable from our broadcast as there's a hill to our left that lots of people park their trucks. Trucks are really popular up here. They park their trucks up there and almost have a tailgating experience as they watch the Lumberjacks play. 1-1 to Ploppert. Misses downstairs, 2-1. Will Hill playing pretty medium distance in center. I'm looking at Harrison Haig, who is pretty far back in left field, playing very close to the warning track. Here's the 2-1. Swings and misses, 2-2. Corner infielders Carson Beatty and Zeb Swangam are in towards the grass. Their throw will be going home if a double play doesn't appear to be in the cards. Two. In there, the backdoor slider gets the backwards K. Jack Ploppert goes down. That's the second out here of the inning, both via the strikeout. And now the big lefty Farber is 1 out away from getting out of this.
Yep, strikeout number 5 on the day for Farber. He only had 2 coming into the day, and he's relied on that heavily.
First pitch swinging is Billy Barthel, who fouls that one back. Another guy who got a free 90 feet. He walked his first time.
And it does look to be Elijah Negron out in the bullpen over there, so this might be it for Farber.
I'm excited to see who they throw out there. If it is Negron, that's something I'll be excited to see. Here's the 0-1, swings and misses. Farber 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. Bases still loaded. It's Worth on third, York on second, Diaz at first. Ploppert, the man at the dish, down 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Skies that one to left field, hit pretty well, but Haig ranging to his left is there, gets under it and makes the play for the third out of the inning. A little scary here for the Lumberjacks, but ultimately no Glens Falls Dragons come in to score. Score remains 5-0. We'll head to the bottom of the third. It's Noah Reed leading off the inning here in the bottom of the third. Lumberjacks still in search of their first hit. They've quickly gone down 6 of 7 retired. Noah Reed leads off. Unwritten being his walk-up song. I'm a fan of that. Is that new? I think it is. I'm not sure. You know what is new, Evan, that I'm seeing? The Glens Falls Dragons have matching hats. Recent development, because the last time they came here, they were wearing the hat of their school. I'm all for that for the helmets. But I think as a team, the hats should be right, as Noah Reed gives the Lumberjacks their first hit of the day. Sits back on the off speed and takes it right back where it came from, sends that one up the middle.
Finally, Lumberjacks needed a hit, and that's a great one right there from Reed, a liner right up the middle. Good piece of hitting right there. Brings up Harrison Haig, good opportunity for him.
So Noah Reed, the speedy Noah Reed, I should say, he's got some real speed. Don't be surprised if he looks over at second. Here's Harrison Haig now, the Aussie himself. First pitch misses inside. So Haig, as we mentioned, played for Bay College, where he hit well over 350. And that earned him a spot at Roosevelt University in Chicago, Illinois. So not from the States. I'm sure he'll enjoy Chicago as a back pick to first goes to the wall. And Noah Reed grabs an extra 90 feet, didn't even have to do anything.
And if they're going to give it to you, might as well take it. It's good heads-up play right there by Reed, and good on the dugout to make sure to tell him to go grab that extra 90 feet.
So Haig on the year, in limited playing time, is hitting 167. He's got 1 RBI on the year. Right now would be a good time for number 2. Here's the 1-0. Swings and misses. Counts even 1-1. in the outfield today. 2 fly balls have come Harrison Haig's way, and he's made a play on both of them. It's Noah Reed on second. Here's the 1-1 from Ensel. Haig fouls that one off. Coach Christian Griffin at third base makes a pretty nice play. Coach can
Still
play.
got it.
Yeah, he still got it. So it counts 1-2 to Harrison Haig. It's Noah Reed on second. As I mentioned, 1-2. Fouls that one off, just staying alive. Christian Griffin at third. You said he can still play. What he doesn't play against us is golf, Evan.
Yeah, we've tried to play him for many days, and he just seems to not really want the challenge. I've heard, according to him, it's assistant coach Trent Nash that is the
a
one.
likely story, yeah. we gotta see him out there on the green, play quick 9. 1-2 to Haig, misses upstairs, counts 2-2. Gotta play a quick 9. There's some beautiful golf courses in the area.
Yeah, CG says he shoots 88 on average. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. I average 63 personally.
On 9 holes.
On the front 9. Still working on my golf game, my short game, my driving game, my putting game. Pretty much any part of golfing is something that I need some work on. But I'll tell you, it's fun, though. I have fun, usually.
It's fun for the first 2 holes before you realize how bad we are at golf.
I got my first ever par the other day. I was proud of myself for that, man. Coach is lying, bro. No way. 2-2 to Harrison Haig. Skies that one to left field. Moving back is Barthel, but he'll be under it just shy of the warning track. Noah Reed tests the arm, but goes back to second. Haig just missed what I think would have been his first homer of the year. Looked like he just got it off the end of the bat.
33, Oliver Lawrence.
Oliver Lawrence now. Mentioned it earlier, a high school catcher, but he's shown that he can at least hit collegiate pitching. In 14 at-bats so far, he's grabbed a hit in 4 of them, including his first extra base hit yesterday, hitting .286 on the year. He's got a runner on second, and Noah Reed looks to drive him in. First pitch off speed. Misses inside for ball 1.
Yeah, he's on a 2-game extra base hit streak, 2 doubles, 1 yesterday, as you mentioned, and then 1 against Mohawk Valley. He's been swinging the bat really well, and, you mentioned his struggles in the field earlier, but he's been really well at the plate.
Well, I wouldn't call him struggles at the field, but, he is a high schooler. As he skies that one, it'll get out of play. He is a high schooler, and, sometimes he'll bounce off his glove, but ultimately I don't think he looks bad out there. But, again, I'm glad he's here with the team. Lord knows Seth Bischoff can use a day off behind the plate, has a nice little rotation of catchers going for the Lumberjacks. And, every time I see Lawrence at the plate, I'm excited. Merrimack got themselves a good one. Here's the 1-1. Late on the fastball. Count runs 1-2. The infield for the Glens Falls Dragons, it's Worth at first. Playing second base is Renee Vega. Shortstop, Shane Hoover. Third base, Tyler McKillop. It's Vega holding on. Reed at second. Here's the 1-2. That one is strike 3, right down the middle, or at least it looked to be here. And that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the third. Lumberjacks potentially stranding Noah Reed, if not for Jihad Guy right here.
It's Jihad Guy, the singles machine, so hopefully he can produce one right here, get a run up on the board.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, number 17.
Jihad Guy struck out his first time. Saw a plethora of sliders from Ansel. I wonder if he pitches them the same way. It was 2 front door sliders followed by I assume it's a slider. It was an off-speed pitch that went into the opposite batter's box. Got Jihad Guy to swing through it as he takes a first pitch slider for a ball. It's Noah Reed on second. Jihad Guy calls time, we'll do it again. "7:50 New York time, just over an hour into today's game. I keep thinking it's 7 innings because the doubleheaders yesterday, but nope, we're playing a full 9 unless for external circumstances. Here's the 1-0, fouls that one down the line. Guy on the year hitting .222. Pretty much every hit, literally every hit has been a single. Doesn't strike out a lot, 5 times in 28 at-bats. That was one of his times was earlier today. Lines that one to the third baseman. McKillop on a hop, throws over to first, and it's a nice scoop from Tyler Worth, the first baseman, who potentially saves an error. Lumberjacks fail to plate yet another runner. Scores 5-0. We'll head to the top of the 4th. Welcome back to the broadcast. Game is kind of flying by, Evan. I gotta say, it's the top of the 4th now. It's a pitching change. Ian Farber's day is done. Outside of a rocky first inning, he was otherwise pretty good. However, he was charged with 5 runs, all of them earned in his 3 innings of work. It's a pitching change now, goes to Colin Glenn. He's got some, I don't want to call it mop-up duty, but he's a long reliever today, middle reliever. He's got to work for a few innings, hopefully, before the Eli Negron type arms come out. Of course, I want to see him today, but, you know, before we throw out guys who haven't thrown an inning in quite a few years, let's see what the actual Lumberjack pitchers can do. Glenn's first batter is going to be Shane Hoover, the shortstop. He flew out his first time around. He flew out to Harrison Hagen left, a ball that I for sure thought was extra bases, but Haig able to get to that one, saved a few runs back in the first. Glenn's first 2 pitches both miss, and the count is 2-0. Hoover, the lefty, hitting pretty decently for the Glens Falls Dragons. Hitting 125 so far as he barrels that one to right. That is going to be get down, possibility for extra bases. He flies around the base paths, and he's into second base standing with a leadoff double.
He absolutely smoked that one into right field. No chance for Noah Reed to get to that one, and that's what you want to do if you're the leadoff guy.
Yeah, sometimes because balls will be hit so hard into right field, if the outfielder has the time, he'll play it off the wall with potential throw into second. Hoover, I guess the reason he hits last is because he's got that leadoff hitter type speed. I mean, he was flying around the base paths, was into second base before the ball was even close to back in the infield. So it's a leadoff double for Shane Hoover, and it'll be the Rene Vega now, the number 1 hole hitter, as the lineup flips over. Evan, there are bugs constantly biting me. I wonder if that affects the players too.
I don't know. I mean, you got to think most of these guys are wearing sleeves and wearing pants, so probably not.
We gotta get invested in some of that.
Pants?
Not pants. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, maybe, but bug spray maybe. That's a start. Here's the 0-1. Gets the swing and a miss from Vega. Counts quickly 0-2. Vega on the year, hitting just above 200. Was hitting a flat 200 coming into the day, but singled his first time around. He's played in 21 of the Glens Falls Dragons' 28 games. This is his 22nd. He's quickly down 0-2. Colin Glens 0-2. Fastball misses outside. Vega, despite having a 200 batting average, on base percentage of 459 coming into the day. And when he gets on, he's prone to steal a few bags as well. Based off what I saw from Hoover, he would likely score from a single as Vega fouls off the 1-2 offering. One, two. Glenn goes back to the off speed, but that one runs too far inside. After having him down 0-2 in the count, loses him. It's a hit by pitch, and the first 2 batters here are on. Giorgio Panapinto now with a good RBI opportunity and no outs.
Yeah, it's been the story of the day for the Lumberjacks. First couple guys always seem to get on for Glens Falls, and hasn't really bit them too hard outside of that first inning, but it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah, it was the second inning for the Lumberjacks where Ian Farber went 1-2-3. Otherwise, lots of hit by pitches, lots of barrels, lots of walks. Colin Glenn in trouble as he faces the heart of the Glens Falls order in Panapinto, McKillop, and Worth. Runner takes off towards third. Lawrence's throw was perfect, but I guess just a little bit late. And Hoover, we're talking about that speed, he's in the third with a stolen base. Runners on the corners now. You know, lots of dirt kicked up with his slide into third. I thought there was a chance they had him. But again, with the way that Hoover runs, it's always hard to get him even if he's taking off for third.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much a perfect throw from Lawrence. Not much he could have done about that one.
Vega fakes taking off for second. Doesn't, but the fastball misses upstairs. Counts now 2-0 on Panepinto. Colin Glenn on the year has 6 appearances for 5 innings pitched total. Looking to get a ground ball here, hopefully turn a double play. Vega fakes taking off yet again. Glenn's 2-0, misses outside. Count moves to 3-0. Glenn, formerly from Kansas Wesleyan University and Bryan and Stratton in Ohio. Looking for his next home, though he's had a couple of schools call him.
Got to be careful right here not to lose Panepinto and load the bases up with a walk right here.
It's Tyler McKillop on deck and Tyler Worth in the hole. McKillop 246 on the year. Tyler Worth hitting over 300 at 343. Panepinto shows bunt as the 3-0 is in there for a strike.
I think the strategy right there was really just to knock Colin Glenn off and kind of just show him a different look. I hope he saw that one and kind of just threw a ball. That didn't work.
Count still 3 balls. Technically has a place to put him, but obviously with no outs. Don't want to load the bases. Vega fakes taking off for second yet again, but he'll get to jog there as it's a 5-pitch walk on Panepinto. Bases loaded here in the top of the 4th.
Now batting number 16, Tyler McKillop.
Not going to get any easier with McKillop, Worth, and York coming up. Guys that have been on base every time they've been on, bar 1 strikeout from McKillop, including a grand slam from York his first time up.
McKillop worked a walk his first time around, but yeah, as you mentioned, did strike out in the second. Bases loaded now. First pitch, fastball down the middle, strike 1. Glenn's got to work hard to get out of this inning. Still no outs. It was Shane Hoover's leadoff double, followed by a hit by pitch after being up 1-2 in the count on Rene Vega, and then walked Giorgio Panepinto on 5 pitches. Last time the bases loaded for the Glens Falls Dragons resulted in a grand slam. McKillop swings and misses through the 1-1 offering, counts 1-2. Strikeout here would be very clutch for Colin Glenn in the Boonville Lumberjacks. Hoover on third. Vega on second, Panepinto on first. 1-2 spiked in the dirt. Count moves to even to 2-2. The sponsor wall and left getting pretty full. Glenn hoping to not get a fly ball here. 2-2 is a fly ball. Relatively deep. Harrison Haig is underneath it. The throw will go to third and is cut off by Zeb Swangham. So all things considered, not a bad trade for the Lumberjacks. 1 run for 1 out given the circumstances. But each runner moves 90 feet, including the runner on first, Panepinto. Heads up base running, and now there's 2 runners on still, both in scoring position. And it will be Tyler Worth now, who's reached base twice already.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a longer fly ball than you would have liked if you were Colin Glenn. I think that one a little bit shallower. Might be able to get that in, maybe get an out at second or third, but Hoover was always going to score on a fly ball.
Harrison Haig's got a strong arm out and left, but yeah, that one backed him up just a little bit too much. McKillop liked what he saw on the 2-2 offering. The entire infield coming in now. Score 6-0 Lumberjacks still in search. Excuse me, they have reached their first hit, but obviously haven't touched the scoreboard yet. That one fouled back towards us, almost. I personally did not flinch. Evan, you shook a little bit right there. Tyler Worth fouls that one back. More importantly, at strike one, count moves to 1-1. And entire infield in. Ground ball. They'll look to back up Vega at third. Allow him not to score. 1-1 misses downstairs. Count moves to 2-1. Colin Glenn's last outing came against the Glens Falls Dragons in Glens Falls about 2 weeks ago. It was a game that the Dragons run-ruled the Lumberjacks. Final score 20-4. Here's the 2-1. Swings and grounds that one to Zeb Swingham, who makes a beautiful play to make sure that ball doesn't get through. He saved at least one run right there, possibly two. Helps out his pitcher, Colin Glenn, who is now 1 out away from getting out of the inning.
Yeah, beautiful play right there by Swingham. Full extension on the ground, 360 spinorama throw, and gets out number 2 in the inning. Ultimately stays 6-0.
Pre-game, I saw Trent Nash, the assistant coach, hitting ground balls to all the players. If that was for any reason how Zeb Swingham made that play, then it was time well spent. Bases go back to loaded. David York on for the 3rd time today. He's hit by a pitch. Seems like everybody on this Glens Falls Dragons team has been hit by a pitch today.
And that might not be the outcome you're looking for, but in the grand scheme of things, you hit David York with a pitch who had a grand slam and 2 walks earlier, and now you have to face Tay Robinson, who struck out twice. I think it's definitely more of the hitter that you'd like to attack in this situation.
Yeah, so we mentioned that the Glens Falls Dragons recently got new hats. Colin Glenn looking to give Tay Robinson a sombrero. Got 2 Ks on the day already. Bases are loaded. It's Rene Vega on 3rd, Giorgio Panapinto on 2nd, and David York on 1st. First pitch runs pretty far inside. Tay Robinson moves out of the way. It's ball 1. Robinson on the year, 6 RBIs in 22 games played. Here's the 1-0. In there for a strike. Robinson was hitting .219 before coming into the day. He does have a homer, but more of a speed threat. 6 stolen bases on the year. Glens 1-1. Off speed, backdoor, lands for a strike. He's 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. He's landed the off speed for a strike twice now. I wonder if he goes back to it for a 3rd time. Score 6-0, bases loaded here. Files that one back. Do it yet again. Glenn looking to get out of the inning, only having given up 1 run. Comes set. Here's his 1-2. Off speed, almost gets a swing from Robinson. He checks it in plenty of time. Count even 2-2.
And I think you got to go back to the fastball right here, outside corner. Just get something that Robinson might be able to roll over, but not much more than that.
Nowhere to put him. Got to throw him a strike. Here's the 2-2. That one in the dirt, misses downstairs. Count full now. Lumberjack dugout giving some words of encouragement to the reliever, Colin Glenn. Vega on 3rd, Panapinto on 2nd. It's David York on 1st. 3-2, 2 outs here. Runners will be taking off. Here's the payoff pitch. The 3-2 runs very far inside, almost hits Tay Robinson. doesn't, but has the same effect. Ball 4 walks in a run. Score now 7-0 in favor of the Dragons.
Up to bat, number 30, Derek Diaz.
It's Derek Diaz now with the bases loaded. First pitch to the backstop is off the plate, ball 1. Diaz on the day has a fly out and a walk. Hitting 164 coming into the day. He's got 4 RBIs. Looking for 4 more. With the bases loaded, here's the 1-0 from Colin Glenn. Fouls that one back. 1-1.
And no movement in the Lumberjack bullpen at the moment either, so looks like it might be another inning of Glenn after this.
Dependent on what he does with Diaz here. I agree with that statement. Here's the 1-1. Misses downstairs, 2-1. Last time the Glens Falls Dragons came here, they literally had to forfeit. The Lumberjacks were beating them so bad. Different story today. Here's the 2-1. Well outside, count moves to 3-1. Now, gotta throw him a strike. Good hitters count for Diaz. Let's see what Colin Glenn offers him. Swings, grounds that one towards Jihad Guy, who takes it to second himself. Doing anything he can to get that out, and he does. So Lumberjacks give up 2 here in the top of the 4th. But we'll head to the bottom half where the Lumberjacks have lots of work to do offensively. Brady Foxwell alongside Evan Sambita. We'll see you after the break.
Now batting for the Boonville Lumberjacks, number 11, Davon Abaga.
Here's Devo now. Struck out his first time at the plate back in the bottom of the first. We are now in the bottom of the fourth, which kind of goes to show how the Lumberjacks have been struggling at the plate. Some Glens Falls Dragons, their top, the majority of the Glens Falls Dragons, I should say, their top 7 hitters all have gotten 3 at-bats. Lumberjacks now are just getting their second. Abaga fouled off the first pitch, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. This is outside. One pitch to Abaga. Off speed, lands in there for a strike. He's quickly down the count, 1-2. Some stretching going on in the Lumberjack bullpen. Wondering if they go with another arm next half inning.
It looks like someone's down there throwing. I won't try and guess who because I guessed wrong last time. Can't see a number.
I'm still hoping to see Eli Negron step on the rubber today. Abaga lines that one into left field for a base hit. Base hit is all it'll be as the left fielder Barthel gets it in quickly. But it's a nice start for the Lumberjacks at least, who are still in search of their first run, trailing by 7 currently. Here's Big Mike, Michael Clarkson. Took a walk his first time around. You know, every time I talk to Mike, I just feel more enlightened with knowledge and feel better. Big Mike is looking for his next 4-year home, talking to some schools, possibly some things in the works. But when he was a JUCO product, he proposed to his girlfriend. He is currently engaged. He's got some serious riz, I got to tell you. You know, just winning on and off the field, it seems, as they back pick on Abaga. He's doing okay.
Any 4-year college would be lucky to have the most interesting man in the world, Michael Clarkson.
Who said that?
Me.
I can get behind that. Here's the 0-1 to Big Mike, runs inside. The true Lumberjack, as you said. I can get behind that as well. It's either him or Farber, though. When we played at Oneonta, I believe it was one of the Oneonta players who said, now that's a Lumberjack, when Big Mike stepped up to the plate. And they're right, too. He really is. He gets hit by a pitch, wears that one, hard 90 to first. It's 2 runners on to start the inning.
That's what you need for Masai Marshall coming up here. Guy coming off a 2 extra base hit day. Could use another one of those right now.
Here's Masai Marshall now. He's got 2 runners on. He grounded out to the third baseman in his first at-bat. Again, still looking to plate that first runner. You know, something I find kind of funny about the runner on second, Devon Abaga. I feel like he's always chatting up the other team, either when he's in the middle infield or on second base. As they throw back, he's in feet first with a slide, but he's all right. Cloud of dust kicks up. But even with the rivals, as you call it, the Utica, as well everyone calls it, I guess, the Utica Blue Sox yesterday, when he was on base, he was still chatting up everyone. When he was in the middle infield, still just, you know, likes talking to the other guys. At the end of the day, it's a kids game, one that people just happen to be good at. Cy Marshall takes the off-speed pitch for a strike. Checks on the runner Abaga at second, but it's a line drive base hit for Masai Marshall. Bounces off Tay Robinson. But that's all it does, but now its bases loaded. And I think that hit is partially due to Rene Vega holding on Devon Abaga at second. That he leaves the right side of the infield entirely open. Here's Carson Beatty, who was 0 for 1 with his new walk-up song, Teach Me How to Dougie. Looking to change that now with the bases loaded. It was a grand slam from the Lumberjacks yesterday off the bat of Ian Farber that put the Lumberjacks in the game. It was a grand slam from David York earlier today that kind of took the Lumberjacks out of it to start the game. And the last time these two teams faced off, it was a grand slam from Argenis Lopez in the bottom of the first that gave the Lumberjacks the lead, which they would propel to victory. Beatty grounds that one to the first baseman, Worth, who throws over to home, gets the lead runner, Abaga. That's all they'll get, so it's a fielder's choice for Beatty, and it's Will Hill now.
Correct play right there, saves a run and keeps this game scoreless on the Boonville side.
Worth.
7, Will Hill.
Worth made that throw on the run, and on line, but almost took Diaz off the plate. Would have been a great break for the Lumberjacks, but ultimately it's more a defensive play from Tyler Worth. Lumberjacks now 1 out, still bases loaded. Will Hill looking to do some damage. The team batting average coming into the day is .234. They often fail to plate runners in scoring position. We could speak all day about those struggles, Evan. Obviously, won't get into that today. Instead, let's focus on Will Hill, the center fielder from the University of Texas, hitting .240 on the season. He does have a homer, came against Saugerties 3 weeks ago. Here's the 1-0. That one off the end of the bat a bit. Michael Clarkson forgot how many outs there were and won't be able to tag up. So instead of a sac fly for Will Hill, it's just a fly out. Michael Clarkson puts his hands on his head, just a bit of a lapse of judgment. And after having the bases loaded and no outs, Lumberjacks are at risk of not completing any. It's up to Zeb Swangham to do the job now. He had a hard hit ground ball in his first at bat, but it was a ground ball out. Ultimately hit it right at McKillop, the third baseman. Right now he needs to find a way on to score a run. First pitch fastball is in there for a strike.
That's an unfortunate mishap right there. Kind of back-to-back plays, going back to that fielder's choice as well, where I kind of feel like Boonville could have used a run right there and should have gotten one, but still got bases loaded.
It's Michael Clarkson on third, Masai Marshall on second, and Carson Beatty at first. 0-1 to Zeb Swangham, misses outside. It was a single, a hit by pitch, and yet another single. Lumberjacks have had to earn just about every time they've gotten on base today, besides the hit by pitch. As that one misses outside. Besides the hit by pitch to Michael Clarkson, there's only been one other free pass that also came to Michael Clarkson via a walk. So he's gotten 2 free passes tonight. Otherwise, nobody on the Lumberjack side has gotten on via a walk. RJ Hensel showing great command of the zone as he is now the innings leader on the Glens Falls Dragons. Zeb Swangham gets jammed on the slider. Skies it to shallow center field. Converging are the outfielders, and it's Tay Robinson who comes over. Lumberjacks have the bases loaded and do not plate a run. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Glens Falls 7, Lumberjacks 0. It's the top of the fifth here. Frustrating scenes from the Lumberyard as the Lumberjacks failed to plate a single run despite having the bases loaded. And instead, it's the top of the fifth. Colin Glens still out on the mound. He'll have to face the bottom of the Glens Falls Dragons lineup: Jack Ploppert, Billy Barthel, and Shane Hoover. First pitch in the dirt, ball one.
And this could be big for Colin Glenn. Still no movement in the Boonville bullpen, so if he can get the out here on the number 9 and 10 hitter in this Glens Falls lineup, that would be pretty big.
One from Colin Glenn. Grounded to the left side. Abaga from the outfield grass will not be able to get Ploppert, who was running pretty hard down the line. So that's going to be a single for the designated hitter. Now it's Billy Barthel and Shane Hoover.
That's a good play from Abaga just to even stop that from getting too far into the outfield. I mean, that's a tough throw from the outfield grass, so good on him for even trying to make that play.
Yeah, it would have been incredible if he were to get there. Just a little too far. It's Devon Abaga, not Derek Jeter, who's reportedly an overrated defender. Have you ever seen that? That, like, A-Rod was the far better defender. Runner takes off, and it's a hit and run. Billy Barthel winds that one down the third base line. Moving from first to third is Ploppert, and moving into second standing is Barthel. Single and a double. Runners on early for the Glens Falls Dragons. Shane Hoover, the batter now.
And that was pretty impressive from Ploppert to get to third, considering he didn't even know that ball was fair until after he rounded second base. So a lot of speed on the base paths, and up comes Shane Hoover, probably the fastest hitter on this team.
So look at the upcoming schedule for the Boonville Lumberjacks. Tomorrow, the Lumberjacks head to Utica to play the Utica Blue Sox. Then the Amsterdam Mohawks come here on Friday. And then Saturday, it'll be in Oneonta. Beautiful ballpark over there. And then on Sunday, as you mentioned earlier, it's a Little League night here as the Lumberjacks face off against the Utica Blue Sox yet again. They then travel to Glens Falls on the 13th, another short road trip to Oneonta, and then conclude the 16-game span of continuous games back here with Amsterdam coming here. The 16th will be our next off day.
Let's hope that's a golf day.
I think so. What I'm looking at is, the Odyssey comes out on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that really means it comes out on the 16th?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Find a local movie theater in the Boonville area and go watch The Odyssey. A book that I have read, for anyone wondering. Pretty good. Here's the 1-1. Skies that one to Abaga, the shortstop. Swingham comes in on it too, and it's his ball to take. Still 2 runners on, but 1 out here in the inning.
Up to bat, number 28, Renee Vega.
It'll be Renee Vega. Lineup flips over now. They'll call that an F5 on Hoover.
Top of the order here. Vega's a guy who has had a single strikeout and hit by pitch so far today. Got to attack him before things get harder with Panapinto and McKill out behind him.
Vega on the day. Reached base twice, one via single, the other via hit by pitch. Has also gone down via strikeout. Man, Vega taps his head on that fastball like we have ABS here in the PGCBL. I think I agree with him. I'm not sure that was a strike, but it's kind of funny. If we did have ABS in the PGCBL, it would be used quite a lot. Here's the 0-1. Vega grounds that one to Zeb Swingham, takes a horrible hop and bounces over his head. Vega with a wide turn at first, but heads back to first as Harrison Haig got that one in quickly. That's unlucky. Zeb Swingham looks settled under that, just bounces over his head.
Yeah, that would have been out number 2 right there. Probably would have held the runners at second and third respectively, but just unfortunate with the bounce right there.
Score is 8-0. Evan, we're getting kind of close to run rule territory here if the Lumberjacks continue to struggle at the plate. And Evan, the last time the Lumberjacks were run ruled by the Glens Falls Dragons, Coach Christian Griffin made them run sprints after the game. I wouldn't be shocked, because this would be loss number 8 in a row, if he did the same thing tonight. Obviously depleted bullpen, obviously, not the strongest Lumberjacks team right now. But man, it seems like nothing is going their way. Benapinto check swing is a strike via location, however. Strike 1. So this is at bat number 4 for Panapinto. Some Lumberjacks are still looking for at bat number 2. Colin Glens 1-1 is just inside for ball 2. Lumberjacks in 4 games played against the Glens Falls Dragons are 2-2. Panapinto skies that one to center field. Moving back is Will Hill. He's to the track just in front of the wall, jumps up and makes the catch. That ball hit very, very deep. Plenty of room to score Barthel. And the score now 9-0 Glens Falls Dragons.
Another brutal game for this Lumberjack team, to be completely honest. I mean, left the bases loaded once on the offensive side. Haven't really been able to get anything going on the mound. And hopefully they can get into this game during the back half.
Runner goes. Lawrence's throw to second. On line but bounces, so Vega will go from first to third. Just wondering, when are we going to see Eli Negron take the mound? That's all I'm looking for. Tomorrow against the Utica Blue Sox. I'm wondering if that'll be a Jalen Fullwood start, maybe a Garrett Albright start.
I think that's going to be the last Garrett Albright start before he heads home on Friday.
He's found some success when he pitches in Utica. 2-0 versus the Blue Sox.
He's another guy with a lot of fight in him too, so it should be a good start.
Down 0-2 now is McKillop. That one misses up high, ball 1. It's Rene Vega on third base. He got on via single, his second of the game. It was Panapinto who flew out to center for a sacrifice fly. Flew out to Will Hill, who should have had a sacrifice fly. 1-2 gets the strikeout call, whether it's the swing or via the location. It's still a strike, and the Lumberjacks will take that. Brady Foxwell alongside Evan Sambita. My work as your play-by-play broadcaster is done. I'll toss it to Evan after the break as the Lumberjacks trail 9-0. We'll see you after the break.
Back here for the bottom of the 5th inning, Evan Simbita here alongside Brady Foxwell to take you through the rest of this PGCBL matchup. It's still 9-0 Glens Falls. RJ Zell still the pitcher on the mound, and Noah Reed the leadoff man. Here comes the first pitch. That one taken up high for strike one, fastball in there.
Yeah, Reed had the first hit of the day, is looking to get things going for the second time around. Be nice to have a little rally here, show some fight.
Here comes the 0-1. Swings and misses on that off-speed outside, and the count quickly 0-2. Mentioned Reed had that single. It was the first of the game for any Lumberjack hitter. Ultimately, he's been followed up by singles by Devon Abaga after that. Here comes the 0-2. Checks his swing in the dirt. Did he go? Appeal down to first? Yes, he did, and that is out number 1. Noah Reed strikes out for the first time today. That's strikeout number 4 for Azell, and brings up the left fielder, Harrison Haig.
Batting for the Lumberjacks, number 18, Harrison Haig.
I think not scoring with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th is kind of the 4th, excuse me, is what killed the Lumberjacks. All momentum they had right there. I think they looked deflated at the plate.
First pitch on Haig, swings it to the left side, takes a hop in the dirt, still picked up by Hoover, and the throw over to first is in time for out number 2. So 2 quick outs to start this one, and brings up the catcher, Oliver Lawrence.
Yeah, Haig hit that hard. I thought that was going to be a single, at least after the bounce it took, but the shortstop, Hoover, made a great play, fully extended to get to that ball, and Harrison Haig was just gunned down at first. 2 quick outs, as you mentioned it, Evan.
Yeah, that one took a nasty hop. There was one on the other side, as here comes the first pitch on Lawrence. Swings this one into center field. Coming to his right is Panapinto. Ultimately, it will be Robinson making the catch in right center, and that will end the inning. Lumberjacks go down 1-2-3 in just over 3 minutes of game time, and that will do it for the 5th inning. We head to the top of the 6th right after this. We'll be right back on the Boonville Radio Network after this.
It turned out like
Back here for the top of the 6th inning, there's a new arm out on the mound, which means Colin Glenn's day is done. 2 innings of work with 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 earned runs, and 1 strikeout from the right-hander Glenn. And the new man out on the mound is Elijah Negron. Told us pregame he hasn't pitched in a game since his junior year of high school, but does look to be throwing some heat out there on the mound. As a hitter, has played in 20 games with a 182 average, 10 hits, 3 homers, and a double with 8 RBIs, but this his first pitching appearance in quite some time. Many years for the rising sophomore out of University of Maryland East Shore. First batter he faces here today will be The next man up in the order, Tyler Worth, the first baseman. Then it's David York, the extra hitter, and Tay Robinson, the right fielder, the 3 mandatory batters that Negron will face. Got a word on that velo from Negron in a second here. Here comes the first offering. That one inside there. 1 ball, no strikes as the fastball misses. Worth so far today has walked twice as well as grounding out once to third. Here comes the 1-0. Taken outside yet again, 2-0 the count. 2 straight fastballs from Negron to start off this appearance. We were told by head coach Christian Griffin there'll be a lot of position players in this game, as he's tasked with keeping the 9-run lead. So here's the 2-0. Fastball inside yet again, 3-0 the count now on Worth. Negron's got to be careful, 1 pitch away from walking Worth for the 3rd time today. Here comes the 3-0. That one in there for a called strike. Fastball finally hits.
Yeah, I just went down there to get a look at the radar gun for what he was throwing. It's upper 80s, Evan, about 88, 89.
3-1 is in there for a strike as well, and the count runs full. Pretty impressive considering Negron hasn't really thrown a bullpen yet this summer, hasn't thrown in a game since his junior year of high school, but is battling out here. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled to the backstop, and he stays alive.
Wonder if he has 90 in him. Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he looks like a natural out there. I got to say, he said the last time he pitched was junior year of high school. It's incredible.
Worth stands in and awaits the payoff pitch for the 2nd time. Here it comes. Checks on that one. It's in there for a called 3rd strike, and Negron with the looking K to start the inning. What a way to start off your pitching career in the collegiate circuit.
Yeah, Tyler Worth made that one pretty easy on the umpire. I mean, he knew it, and I imagine that would have been a strike call, but it's a kind of a delayed punch, if you know what I mean. I mean, by him just walking back to the dugout, he makes it no decision for the umpire. What an out for Eli Negron.
Just the 6th strikeout of the day of any Dragons hitter, as here comes the first pitch on David York. Swing and a miss on that one. Off speed in the dirt gets him. 0-1 the count now. York, a sophomore out of Sacred Heart, the Division I school. He's walked, has been hit by a pitch, as well as hitting that grand slam that opened up the game in the top of the 1st inning. Here comes the 0-1 from Negron. That one nearly hits him in the head. York has to duck out of the way, and the count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit of a stutter out there on the mound by Negron, who paused his delivery, trying to mess up the timing of the hitter York, and Negron would know best, as he's hit in almost every game for the Lumberjacks this summer.
I'm telling you, man, he looks like a natural going from the windup right now. Fastball is upper 80s.
Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit down the left side. That one foul, and the count moves 1 ball, 2 strikes now on York, who's been on base in 16 straight games, ranging all the way back nearly a month. He's just got 2 strikeouts in his last 4 games. Hasn't struck out yet in this one, but is down to his last strike against the position player, Negron. From the windup, here comes the 1-2. Swung on and hit to the left side. Swingham's got this at 3rd. Long throw over to 1st is in time for out number 2, and Negron continues to work it out there. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
You know, it was actually Eli Negron himself who told me that his fastball has movement on it. Until the Glens Falls Dragons hitters start to make some loud contact on it, I think I'll believe him on that. Maybe I'll catch up with Oliver Lawrence, the catcher, after the game and see whether or not that is true, but I believe it.
So in comes Tay Robinson. Here's the first pitch. Right fielder takes that one on the upper part of the strike zone. Fastball 0-1 the count now. Robinson himself has struck out twice in this game already, as well as walking in his last plate appearance. Here comes the 0-1. Takes that one inside for strike 2, and quickly down 0-2 in this count. Robinson chatting with the umpire, trying to see where that pitch was. But Negron has looked effective out here in his first inning of work. Some movement in the bullpen, but hopefully Negron gets inning number 2. Still got to get through the right fielder Robinson. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him right there. And 2 strikeouts in his first inning of work. Elijah Negron taking a step out of the comfort zone and setting him down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 6th inning. He keeps it within 9, and the Lumberjacks will be back to bat at the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. Jihad Guy, Devana Baga, and Michael Clarkson, the 3 hitters up here for the Boonville Lumberjacks in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's still RJ Azell out there, who's been pitching a 3-hitter, just 1 walk, but no earned runs into this 6th inning of work. Mentioned it earlier, he came into the game with over a 6 ERA, but he's looked pretty much unhittable for most of this one here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic so far today. You mentioned it coming into the day that he had a 6 ERA, and hopefully Lumberjacks could jump on that. Well, they haven't done anything close to that, and well, he's a starting pitcher, and in the 7 appearances that he had 25.2 innings of work coming into that day. So he averaged just under 4 innings per appearance. Right now, he's completed 5 going into his 6th and has no signs of stopping down so far.
So here comes the second baseman, Jihad Guy, who steps in. Here comes the first pitch from Azell. Takes that one on the outside corner for a called strike. Guy so far today has struck out in his first plate appearance to lead off the game and then grounded out in his second, just the 3rd time around for the Lumberjacks in this 6th inning. Here comes the 0-1. Checks on that one, but it's up high, does not go, and the count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. Guy came into this game batting .222 in 11 games played, most of them in the outfield, but last 5 of them at second base. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss on that one. Off speed outside gets him to swing and miss. 1-2 the count now. And Guy played outfield. He at Bruton Parker Christian University, the NAIA school, was primarily a defensive substitution, but at outfield, not second base. Here comes the 1-2. That one down low in the dirt. Count all even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Guy's been on base safely in 4 out of the last 5 games. He's 0 for 2 coming into this at-bat, looking to extend that run of good play. Here comes the 2-2. That one on the outside corner, called for ball 3. Guy started walking towards the dugout as if it was a strike, but he's in there now with a full count. Would have been the 2nd strikeout of the day for Guy. He only had 4 on the season coming into today. As here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled to the backstop, and they will do it once again. Guy stays alive and keeps extending the pitch count of the pitcher Azell. This is his 6th inning of work and likely his last. Still no movement in the bullpen from the Dragons, however.
Yeah, they often don't come with a lot of pitchers, so this is extra clutch from Ensel.
3-2 is down low in the dirt, and Jihad Guy draws the 7-pitch walk right there, claps to his teammates in the dugout as he walks to first, and it's Devon Abaga now.
Bat number 11, Devon Abaga.
Just the second walk of the day surrendered by Ezel. Only the 6th base runner in 6 innings of play here tonight, and brings up Abaga, who himself has a single and 1 strikeout in the game today. Here comes the first offering. Swung on and chopped to the pitcher's mound. Ezel's got it, throws over to second for 1, but they'll say he was safe. Shortstop Hoover didn't touch the bag as Guy came sliding in there, and they'll call that one an error.
Now batting.
Yeah, miscommunication at second base right there between the middle infielders, Hoover and Vega. They both came over, and I'm not sure that Ensel even knew who to throw to. He just threw somewhere towards the general direction. Hoover had to come really far off the bag to try and catch that ball, and didn't actually. I believe he dropped it, so an easy decision for the second base umpire.
So runners on first and second for Michael Clarkson, the extra hitter. Here's the first pitch. Takes that one way outside for ball 1. Clarkson so far today has reached both times he's been up at the plate. He's got a walk and a hit by pitch. Ahead 1-0 in this one. Came into this game with just 1 extra base hit in his last 4 games. That's his longest drought of the year. Last one was a home run against Utica on July 8th. That was yesterday. Here comes the 1-0 as both runners go. Throw is over to second base, and that one is going to be cut off by the second baseman Panapinto right there.
Yeah, I wonder why he goes to second right there. I mean, Jihad Guy, he's pretty fast, don't get me wrong, but it's a further throw to second. I don't think Guy is that much faster than Abaga. He definitely would have had a better chance going to third and trying to get the lead runner, Jihad Guy.
So runners on second and third now. 2-0 the count to Michael Clarkson. Maybe something cooking for the Lumberjacks, who have been kept off the scoreboard all day today. Here comes the 2-0. And that one hits Clarkson in the shoulder. Second hit by pitch of the day, and it loads up the bases for Masai Marshall.
Yeah, again, he always has to work or earn his free passes. He's gotten 3 of them so far today. He was walked his first time around and then back-to-back hit by pitches. Lumberjacks now have bases loaded yet again. They have to score a run here, as they failed to do so back in the bottom of the 4th.
And still no movement in that Glens Falls bullpen. This is kind of what happened in the second game of the doubleheader here. Their pitcher lost control, and they had no one behind him to end up put out there. As here comes the designated hitter, Masai Marshall. First pitch, taken in there for a called strike. And Ezel seems to have lost a little bit, definitely on the command. Not sure about the velo, but this the second time so far the Lumberjacks have loaded the bases. Both times it's been with no outs. They failed to score any runs the first time around, and Masai Marshall looking to correct that as Ezel steps off to recollect himself. Marshall so far today is grounded out and hit a single. Would love another one of those right here. Here comes the 0-1. That one down low in the dirt. Masai Marshall never even thought about swinging on that one, and the count moves to 1-1. Marshall played in the second game of the Utica doubleheader yesterday, had 2 hits, both of them doubles and 3 at-bats, and what was ultimately a loss in that game, a collapse in the 7th inning, but looking to right things here. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. That one hits Masai Marshall, and the Lumberjacks finally on the board for the first time today. It's 2 straight hit by pitches by the pitcher Ezel. Manager's going to come out to talk here, and it's 9-1. Glens Falls still on top.
Yeah, it's my understanding that the Glens Falls Dragons, they're 3 hours away. I don't believe they travel with the entire team. The bullpen is entirely empty, and it looks like their dugout is too. They don't bring a lot of guys. So Ensel had to go deep into today's game, and that's exactly what he did. 5 completed innings so far. Lumberjacks finally plate their first, but with no outs, there should be some more damage done. Just kind of depends on how long Ensel can go into the game. He has 8 runs still to play with of insurance.
Long meeting out there on the mound. The umpire's going to come and break this one up, as it's Carson Beatty, the first baseman, who will be the next batter of this game. It'll be Will Hill after him, and then the third baseman Zeb Swangham after that. Still no outs here, bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 1-9. Lumberjacks just got their first run off of that hit by pitch. It's Masai Marshall and Michael Clarkson on first and second, both of whom reached on hit by pitch. And then over at third base, it's Devon Abaga reaching on an error by the shortstop Hoover. The lefty Beatty stands in, awaits the first pitch from Mazel, who's still out there on the mound. Here it comes. That off speed way outside, and the count moves to 1 ball, no strikes.
Beatty still yet to grab a hit with his new walk-up song to teach me how to Dougie.
0 for 2 on the day, a fielder's choice and a strikeout for Beatty. Here comes the 1-0. That one down low in the dirt, and the count moves to 2-0. Friendly hitter count now for Beatty, who's got just 4 hits in the PGCBL this summer, one of them a double yesterday in the first game against Utica. A hit here would score likely 1. Here's the pitch. That one taken on the outside corner, high and away for strike 1. 2-1 the count now on Beatty, who's got 4 hits in his last 6 games. Hasn't really been the everyday first baseman, but with Argenis Lopez leaving this team, he's now started to take that role. Here comes the 2-1. Takes that one outside corner, another strike, and the count moves to 2-2. At a certain point, probably got to get the bat off the shoulder. Don't want to leave him loaded yet again. Still no outs in this one with the bases loaded. 2-2 the count on Beatty. Mazel set. Here's the pitch. That one outside, almost the same spot as the first 2, but this one called for a ball, and the count is full now.
Yeah, big league take right there. A close one when you have 2 strikes. I say get the bat off your shoulder. But, I mean, I'm looking at the third base line. Third baseman McKillop playing far off the bag.
Here comes the payoff pitch from Mazel. Swings and fouls that one off of his leg. Umpire calls time on that one. And lucky that wasn't in play. But instead, Beatty stays alive. Looks like that one came off of the back left leg as he tries to get some blood into the leg.
Beatty's primarily a pull hitter, but I'm just saying if they're pitching you away, whether it's a fastball, if you can stay behind the off speed long enough, that third base line, I'm seriously telling you, McKillop is playing so far off that even a decently hit ground ball scores 1 easily, too.
Here's the payoff pitch for the second time. Swung on and hit foul yet again. This one right behind home plate, and he will do it again for the 8th pitch of this at-bat.
The only problem is with it being an off-speed on the outside part of the plate, he's much more likely to roll over. He'd really have to stay behind. And I think he's trying to jump at the pitch and bring more than just 1 run home.
Outfield slightly shifted to the right, same with the infield. Here comes pitch number 8 of this lengthy at-bat. Takes that one on the inside corner, and that is a called third strike on Beatty, who goes down with just his 7th strikeout of the year, and that brings up Will Hill.
Yeah, so it's ultimately the fastball in the inside part of the plate that had him fooled. I think it froze him. That one, whether or not it did catch part of the zone, it's definitely too close to take with 2 strikes, and a clutch out for Ansel. Lumberjacks, I said they have to get at least 1, but in reality, come on, man, you got to plate more than 1 run here.
So it's strikeout number 2 for Beatty on the day. Up comes Will Hill, who's flown out twice. Here's the first delivery from Mazel. Swung on and hit into left field. That one's going to get down, and that's going to be extra bases for Will Hill. Coming around and scoring is Abaga. Clarkson scoring as well as Masai Marshall goes to third. He's being waved around home as Abaga goes to third. He's going to be in there safe with a 3-run triple. And this game, the Lumberjacks squarely back into it. It's 9-4 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A huge triple there from Devon Abaga.
Yeah, heads up base running right there. Way to take the extra 90 feet, and everyone comes in to score. He barreled that one for sure. And I like the dugout reaction to that. Still a long way to go, but I mean that was clutch right there.
So 3 RBIs for Will Hill brings up Zeb Swangham. Still a runner on third, 1 out. Here's the next pitch. That one hits Swangham, and the 3rd hit by pitch of the inning. That means runners on the corners now for the right fielder, Noah Reed.
Now batting number 5, Noah Reed.
Yeah, they're keeping Enzel out there. I mean, he had a fantastic performance coming into the 6th inning, but I mean, again, Glens Falls Dragons want to keep their pitchers to a minimum, so I think he'll stay out there until, I mean, he literally can't.
So just 1 out, runners on the corners for Reed now. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and hit high, but that one's going to escape back and out of play. 0-1 the count now. Reed so far today has singled and struck out. 1 for 2 so far on the day. Played in the 2nd game of the Utica doubleheader yesterday. Would ground into a double play and ground out 1 other time as well. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one going to get to the shortstop. Throw over to first is not going to happen as he doesn't think there's enough time. Hoover pulls up on that one, and it's an infield single right there for Reed. It scores 1 more, and they inch closer. It's 9-5. Lumberjacks still trailing by 4.
Yeah, Noah Reed's a speedy guy right there, and he hit that so slow that at a minimum, Will Hill was going to come in to score, but with Noah Reed busting his legs down the line, beats that out for a base hit.
So Will Hill scores on that one. Here comes Harrison Haig, the left fielder. Azell ready. Here's the delivery. Swings and hits this one into shallow center field. Pulling up on that one is the center fielder Panapinto, and that gets down for a single. No one can advance past 1 base, and they've got the bases loaded yet again. It's Oliver Lawrence, the catcher, now up, who's in a big, crucial situation. Could tie this game up with 1 swing of the bat.
Yeah, Lawrence, the tying run here. I like Harrison Haig's approach right there. Sometimes the first pitch you get is the best pitch that you get, and he gets kind of a little jam shot, but it's over the head of the shortstop Hoover, which allows everybody to extend 90 feet. And yeah, you mentioned it. Lawrence is now the tying run. It's a very successful bottom of the 6th here as the Lumberjacks bats have finally come alive.
So here's the first pitch on the catcher, Lawrence. Takes that one inside for a called strike. Lawrence so far today is 0 for 2. He's got a strikeout and a fly out to center.
It's nice knowing that Eli Negron could possibly shut things down on the other side of the ball.
Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and hit out of play. That one right to the bleachers. To the left of Mom's Kitchen, the concession stand here, and the count quickly 0-2 on Lawrence. Sac fly likely not in the cards for the backstop as he hasn't recorded an out in the air so far this year. They've all been on the ground. Needs to stay alive on this 0-2 pitch. Here it comes from Azell. Swung on and missed that one way outside, and Oliver Lawrence knew it. That's going to be out number 2 and brings up Jihad Guy.
Yeah, 3-pitch strikeout. Again, clutch response from RJ Enzel right there. Lawrence obviously frustrated with himself. That was a bit of a sword right there. Jihad Guy, though, doesn't strike out a lot, as we were saying. Of course, he did go down via the strikeout earlier today, but I at least expect him to put it in play here, and he's a fast guy like Noah Reed. He can beat out an infield single.
So the Lumberjacks have batted around in this inning. It was Jihad Guy who led off the bottom of the 6th and now up for the 2nd time. Here comes the first pitch. Takes that one up high for ball 1. The off-speed misses. He walked to lead off this inning as well as striking out and grounding out before that. Continues to stare down Azell as he awaits the sign from his catcher. Finally gets it from Diaz. Here's the pitch. That one down low in the dirt. 2-0 the count now. Guy doesn't have an extra base hit yet this year, but does have 2 RBIs. He's produced those on singles. All of them came against a game in Utica on June 6th. Ultimately, that would be a loss for the Lumberjacks. Here comes the 2-0 delivery. Takes that one in there for a called strike. Fastball just clips the lower part of the zone right there, and the Lumberjacks dugout not agreeing with that call.
Yeah, strike zone's been kind of big today on both sides. That one I did think was a little too far off the plate, but again, we're further back than home plate umpires. Just got to take what he says.
So 2-1 the count now on Guy. Here comes the pitch. Off speed way up high, but not clipping the zone, and the count moves to 3 balls, 1 strike.
You know, with his loss of command, I kind of wonder if Jihad Guy is swinging here 3-1 or just kind of hoping for ball 4.
Ball forward plate run number 6 for the Lumberjacks here tonight as Guy calls time before a crucial 3-1 delivery. And Zell is allowed all 5 of his earned runs here in this inning as Guy calls time once more. Redoes the batting gloves before stepping back in on the right side. Some movement finally in the Dragons bullpen. Just 1 or 2 guys getting loose, but no one throwing quite yet. And Zell ready for the 3-1. Here it comes. That one down low in the dirt, and he walks in run number 6 on the day as Zeb Swangham comes in to score, and it will be Devon Abaga for the second time here today.
Batting for the Lumberjacks, number 11, Devon Abaga.
Second walk that Guy has drawn in this inning. Came around to score on the first one, and that will be the day for Andrew and Zell. 6 runs surrendered, as well as responsible for the 3 that are currently on base, and that's going to do it for him. New pitcher coming out of the pen. We'll have that for you on the other side of the break, right here on the Lumberjack Sports Network. Andrew Izell's day is done. It's a new pitcher out there on the mound for the Dragons, and it's going to be Tyler Waygard, the right-hander. He's got 4 appearances, all of them starts. This is his first time out of the pen so far this summer. Comes into the game with a 5.68 ERA and 9 runs, 8 of them earned in just over 12 innings of work. Has faced off against the Lumberjacks once before. Had the start in their last win all the way back on July 1st. Had 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, and no earned runs on that one.
Can I make an announcement for the cars on the hill to shut their lights off? They're blinding players in right field.
So bases still loaded. All 3 of those runners will be RJ and Zell's responsibility. There will also be Devon Abaga coming up to the plate. Still 2 outs here in this bottom of the 6th inning that has gone on for what seems like forever. Luckily for the Lumberjacks, they've cut the lead all the way down to 3, and they're squarely back in this game.
Batting number 11, Devon Abaga.
Still no movement in that Lumberjack bullpen, assuming that Elijah Negron, the position player, will be coming back out for his 2nd inning of work.
No, I said, can I make an announcement?
As Abaga stands in, awaiting the first delivery from Waygard. Here it comes. Takes that one in the dirt. 1-0 the count. The off-speed misses. Abaga so far today has struck out, singled, and reached on an error. That was all the way back in the beginning of this inning.
Yeah, I was just saying, can I make an announcement?
Yeah, Lumberjacks have fully batted around. Bats are finally getting hot.
Yeah.
1-0 the count on the shortstop. Abaga. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Waygard. That one in there. Not for a called strike, however. Fastball a little bit up high, and 2-0 the count now.
Yeah, Waygard asking the spot. Home plate umpire says it's just a little bit outside, and it's a pitch that we kind of see sometimes. That one, I guess, just a little bit further off the plate. Abaga now the freedom to swing away if he wants to. 2-0.
Hitters count now for Abaga. Here comes the 2-0 delivery. That one down low in the dirt, and quickly 3-0. Waygard's got to be careful not to walk in run number 7 for the Lumberjacks, and Abaga assumingly all take on this pitch. Christian Griffin gives him the sign down that third baseline as the base is still loaded with 2 outs. Here comes the delivery. That one down low in the dirt, and run number 7 for the Lumberjacks. They're just giving it to him at this point. Bases still loaded with 2 outs for Michael Clarkson.
Yeah, this is kind of what we were mentioning. We didn't know how deep the Glens Falls pitching situation is. It's kind of a similar situation to the Lumberjacks. I don't know if they have as many guys as the position players ready to step up as the Lumberjacks do. But Waygard's going to have to, at a minimum, throw a strike. Right now he's facing Michael Clarkson, who's gone on for free 3 times.
Yeah, 2 hit by pitches and a walk represent Clarkson's contributions today. Stands in there for the first pitch. Here it comes. That one down low in the dirt. 1-0 the count on Clarkson. Wouldn't mind another free pass right here.
Yeah, it's Abaga on first, who's now the go-ahead run at this point. Unbelievable stuff from the Lumberjacks, who were silent for the first 5.
Came into this bottom of the 6th inning trailing by 9 runs, and they've cut it all the way down to 2. 9-7 the score now. Here comes the 1-0. That one taken in there for a strike. The first that Waygard has thrown in this game, and the count moves to 1-1. It's Abaga, Jihad Guy, and the runner over on third, Harrison Haig. Haig reached by single, but then it was 2 walks for Guy and Abaga to get them on base. 2 outs here in this bottom of the 6th. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Takes that one way outside, and the count moves to 2-1.
Yeah, I like that take from Clarkson right there. The off speed, it was in the dirt, but it looked like, it had some late movement, a yes, yes, no type of take for Clarkson, who had all of his momentum going forward, but stops in plenty of time. Lumberjack dugout likes that as well.
So it's 2-1 on Clarkson, who has started 8 of the last 10 games now. Here comes the 2-1. That one down low, and 3-1 the count now. He started so much of these games because he's been a trusted bat for head coach Christian Griffin. He keeps telling us that Michael Clarkson is the spark to this team and a huge reason that they were winning a lot of those games, and now with them losing 7 straight, he needs to get back going for them to win. Here comes the 3-1. That one in there for a called strike 2, and the count runs full now. Clarkson shaking his head as if he should have swung on that one, and now the count all full.
Yeah, that it would be the pitch to hit, a fastball pretty much down the middle. I have a feeling that he was kind of taking no matter what right there, though, as Waygard hasn't shown command of the zone yet. He forced him to throw 2 straight strikes.
So got to be careful to defend the plate right here. Can't leave them loaded again. Here comes the payoff pitch as the runners go. Swing and a miss on that one, and he puts Clarkson down to end the inning, but not before the disaster inning for the Dragons comes to an end. It's been 7 runs for Boonville. They've cut the lead all the way down to 2, heading to the top of the 7th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. Elijah Negron back out for his 2nd inning of work in this PGCBL. Here's the first pitch on the next batter, Derek Diaz, in there for a called strike. Fastball clips the zone.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. This game looked like it could have been just a complete waste, but Negron is showing that he can handle himself out there on the mound. So if the Lumberjacks are going to mount a comeback, Negron is a good guy to have on the mound.
Next pitch misses up high. 1-1 the count on Diaz, who has 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Negron maybe a arm for the future. Obviously, we haven't seen him too much or at all, as here comes the 1-1. That one way up high. Lawrence has to snap at it to grab it, and the count moves to 2-1. It's the catcher Diaz, the hitter, who has been on base in just one of the last 4 games coming into tonight. Did draw the walk to make that 2-5. Here's the 2-1. That takes that one up high. Count moves to 3-1. Just 1 ball away from walk number 2. That's been his specialty, to get on base. He's got 4 of them in the last 5 games. Here comes the 3-1. Swings and hits this one to the left side. Swingham coming in on it. Makes the throw near the pitcher's mound and gets him for out number 1. That brings up the designated hitter, Jack Ploppert.
Now batting number 7.
Lumberjacks defense these past couple of days, while the offense has kind of been a little bit lackluster, the defense at least has been fantastic. No errors in the past, 3 games now? 4 at this point.
So they continue to make amends out there on the field, backing up their pitchers. It's now Jack Ploppert, who's 1 for 2 with the walk. First delivery on him is down low in the dirt. Gets away from Lawrence. 1-0 the count. Had a walk in his first plate appearance, then struck out looking and singled in his 3rd plate appearance. Already the 4th time around for the Dragons, but Boonville finally starting to catch up to them. 1-0 the count on the DH. Here's the next delivery. Takes that one way outside. Fastball misses, and 2-0 the count. 1 out here in this top of the 7th inning in a game that the Lumberjacks looked completely out of. They're battling back now, trusting the arm of the shortstop Negron to get them through this one. Here comes the 2-0. That one hits the outside part of the zone. 2-1 the count now. Ploppert has 3 hits in his last 4 games, including that single earlier on in this one. His last RBI came all the way back against Boonville in their last matchup, as the 2-1 misses up high. 3-1 the count now. That was Ploppert's one of his best days all year. Back on June 19th, had 1 single, 2 RBIs, and 3 walks. Came into today with a .340 on base percentage. Here comes the 3-1. Swings and hits this one to the left side. This time it's the shortstop Babaga who throws over to first, and it's in time for out number 2. 5 straight in a row retired by Negron, and up comes Billy Barthel, the left fielder.
Yeah, Baga and Swingham, the left side of the infield, were 2 of many infielders and outfielders and pitchers, really. The entire squad was out there earlier pregame taking ground balls with assistant coach Trent Nash, and well, it seems like it's been working, because anything hit in that direction has been a hit, including that one that just bounced over Swingham's head. Like, that's not his fault. There's really nothing you can do in that situation.
First pitch on the DH Ploppert is outside for ball 1. Ploppert so far today flew out to center, then walked and doubled. 1 for 2 on the day. Ploppert out of Eckerd, the Division II school. He's one of the only D2 hitters in this lineup tonight for Glens Falls, but has produced when he's been asked. Here's the 1-0. Swings and hits this one into the left center gap. Coming in on it and not making the catch is Will Hill. He picks it up and gets it in quickly. Just a single for Ploppert, and the first hit allowed by Negron on the day.
Number 8, Shane.
Yeah, he jumped on the fastball. He got the pitch that he wanted. Lined that one into the left center gap. And it's kind of funny when you mention it. Yeah, Negron otherwise has been 5 up, 5 down. I mean, Eli Negron, I like him in the field and I like his bat, but you know, you might have to tell him to be a bit open-minded about his future with the Lumberjacks.
2 strikeouts already in this one, just over an inning of work, and the first base runner allowed brings up the shortstop Shane Hoover and 10-hole hitter. Still 2 outs, runner on first. Here's the first pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Fastball on the outside corner paints the black. 0-1 the count. It's Billy Barthel over on first, who just reached on that single. 2 outs for Shane Hoover, 0-1 the count. It's 9-7 Glens Falls Dragons here in the top of the 7th inning on the Boonville Sports Network. Here's the pitch. Taken outside, 1-1 the count now. Hoover so far today has flown out twice as well as doubling. He came around to score on that one in what was a 3-run top of the 4th for the Dragons. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit up the middle. This one gotten by Guy. Underhands it to Abaga over there at short, and that will do it. So 7 up, 6 down, just 1 base runner allowed for Negron, and that will probably do it for his day, but he does his job, keeps it clean, and we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. Tyler Waygard back out there for the Glens Falls Dragons here in this one. Worked through 1/3 of an inning, just got 1 out in the last half inning, walked Devon Abaga to walk 1 more run in, but then struck out Michael Clarkson. Now it's Masai Marshall, Carson Beatty, and Will Hill, the 3 batters due up in this inning. First up is Marshall, who grounded out, then reached on a single and a hit-by pitch. Came around to score in that last inning. Here comes the first delivery. Checks on that one, but it's down low in the dirt. Off speed misses, 1-0 the count. Marshall coming into today had 2 extra base hits in his last game play. That was game 2 of the doubleheader against Utica yesterday. 1-0 pitch misses outside, and the count moves to 2-0 now. He's reached base safely in 10 of his 13 games played this year. Had one of his worst ones against Mohawk Valley on June 24th, 0 for 3 day with 3 Ks. Here comes the 2-0. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one picked up by Hoover. Throw over to first is in time, and he gets him for the first out of the inning, and that brings up Carson Beatty.
Up to bat for the Boonville
So it's Beatty who struck out twice, as well as grounding out in that 4th inning. Still looking to get on for the first time today. 1 out here, bottom of the 7th inning. Lumberjacks running out of opportunities in this one. Here's the first pitch. Taken inside for ball 1. Fastball misses. Beatty is ramping up to becoming the everyday first baseman. It's really him and Ian Farber who started this game on the mound, as here's the 1-0. Takes that one down the middle for strike 1. Fastball in there. But he's got 2 of the last 2 games under his belt as starts, after Argenis Lopez really was the everyday first baseman for the first half of the season. Here comes the 1-0 from Waygard. Swings and hits this one to the left side. Caught on a line by the 3rd baseman McKillop, and just tips his cap at that one. That's out number 2, and it brings up Will Hill.
Yeah, well, he did what I was hoping he would do in his first at-bat, which is take it the opposite way towards the 3rd baseman. Only issue, he hit it right at him. hard hit ball, but nothing you can really do there but tip your cap, as you said.
So it brings up Hill, who had that 3 RBI triple in his last at-bat. Had 2 flyouts previously in this game. 2 outs, no runners on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the first pitch. Takes that one in there, fastball for a called strike. Hill's starting to show that power, that triple, his first of the season. He's got 1 home run, which happened here against Saugerties. And kind of starting to ramp up in that department as well, and teams are taking notice. It was 2 walks in the Amsterdam game back on June 26th, where they really pitched around him all game, batted with runners on both of those times, and they didn't want to face Will Hill. Here comes the 0-1. Takes that one up high, 1-1 the count now, and made him pay with that triple in the last inning. Ultimately opened up this game for the Lumberjacks. They would go on to score 2 more and cut that lead all the way down to 2. 1-1 the count on Hill. Here's the pitch from Waygard. Swings and hits this one to the left side. Picked up by McKillop. Throw over to first is in time. And they go down 1-2-3 after plating 7 in the bottom of the 6th. We'll have the top of the 8th on the other side of the break right here on the Lumberjacks Sports Network. To everyone's surprise here at Hanson Aggregates Field, it's Elijah Negron back out there for inning number 3 of work here tonight. Previously hasn't pitched yet as a position player. That's not his forte. Every time we talk to head coach Christian Griffin about some of the position players coming into pitch, he tells us that a lot of them just don't have the built-up arm strength to be able to go deep into games, but already inning number 3 for Negron as he comes to face Rene Vega. Here's the first pitch. That one in there on the leadoff man. 0-1 the count. So far today, Vega has singled twice as well as was hit by a pitch and struck out. 2 for 3 on the day. 0-1. Here comes the delivery. Swing and a miss on that one out in front of the off speed, and Vega quickly down 0-2. 1 pitch away from his second strikeout of the day. He came into today with only 11 in 21 games played this season. Negron dealing out there on the mound, however. Looks like a man possessed as here comes the 0-2. Taken on the outside corner, that one just outside for ball 1, and the count moves to 1-2. Vega's been on a bit of a cold streak. His 2 singles here today were his first 2 hits in the last 6 games. As he does walk a lot, though. He's got 5 of those. He leads the team with 21. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. He stays alive, and the count remains 1-2.
Yeah, Glens Falls, it seemed like earlier in the game, we're just getting tons and tons of at-bats. But now I feel like it's been quite a while since the lineup has flipped over. Vega, this is his 5th of the game. The Lumberjacks have caught up as almost all of the Lumberjack batters have now gotten their 4s. So that 9-0 lead has almost been completely erased at this point.
Oh, something in the eye of Vega right there. Steps out to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, he looks to just be bothered by something. I mentioned earlier there's bugs flying around, Evan. Maybe one of those got in his eye. I know they're bothering us up here. Well, they were at least. I feel better now.
Still 1-2 on the second baseman, Vega. Here's the pitch. Taken way outside, 2-2 the count now. And you mentioned earlier that Vega tapped the helmet after one of the pitches. I think that's just something he does on every delivery.
Yeah, I don't think that was like a direct, insult to the umpire. I'm realizing now he just does that every time.
2-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. That one way outside, misses the catcher Lawrence entirely and goes to the backstop, and the count 3-2 now. So Vega battles back after what was once an 0-2 count. It's now full. After Vega, it's Giorgio Panepinto, then Tyler McKillop. It's 1-2-3 to start this top of the 8th inning. Here's the payoff pitch. That one way outside, and he draws the lengthy 7-pitch walk.
Yeah, that's just his first walk of the game, though. So, I mean, it's been serious control for Eli Negron. It's his third inning of work now. He's completed 2, and only now is he walking a batter. I feel like in the PGCBL, we often see people, even the guys who are designated pitchers, they'll come in and walk their first guy or lose command a little bit. Eli Negron absolutely looks built for the moment right now.
So here comes Giorgio Panepinto, takes up high, 4-1. 1-0 the count as the fastball misses. Vega, not a guy that you should be ashamed of walking, however. He leads the team in that category with now 22 walks on the season and 22 games played. One to know the count on the next batter. Here's the pitch. That one inside on Panepinto, and the count moves to 2-0. Panepinto so far today has been hit by a pitch, flew out, walked, and had a sac fly. Already the 5th time around the order in 8 innings for these Glens Falls Dragons. Here's the 2-0. Takes that one in there. Hits the upper part of the zone, and 2-1 the count. Gotta wonder with Negron out there. He's in the transfer portal. Maybe some schools looking at him as a potential 2-way with him dealing out on the mound right now. Certainly has looked the part. As here comes the 2-1. Takes that one in there for a called strike. Count all even now, 2-2, as Negron doesn't look to be faltering out there in his 3rd inning of work. We know not a lot of these guys can go that far into games, especially without building it up on the arm, but Negron has looked perfect out there.
Yeah, he just went right back to the same spot for back-to-back fastballs and got back-to-back strikes. I think he does it again right here.
Here comes the 2-2. Fastball, broken bat to the second baseman guy. Throw over to first, won't happen, as scurrying back in there is Rene Vega, but Eli Negron creating some firewood right here with the broken bat. And it looks like someone's been ejected from this game. Looks like Panepinto has been tossed from this game. Not sure what he said to the home plate umpire right there. But he is done. Still talking as he leaves the field, as I'm not really sure what the deliberation was on right there.
Wait, I don't know either.
Up bat, number 16, Tyler.
Oh, man.
Maybe
The cons of a 2-person crew. I can go down and ask. Yeah, I'll do that. Be right back.
Maybe a little bit of frustration after a position player comes in and breaks his bat on the flyout to Jihad Guy, but there's one out in the inning. Still Rene Vega on first. Here's the next pitch. Up high on Tyler McKillop. And interestingly, that's the first ejection we've seen here at Hanson Aggregates this year, despite what was nearly a brawl yesterday after the end of the second doubleheader game against Utica. Want to know the count on Panepinto. Here's the pitch. That one takes up high, 4-2. 2-0 the count. McKillop so far today has struck out twice, had a sac fly and a walk as well. 0 for 2 officially with 2 Ks. Gotta wonder who's going to go in at center field for Panepinto on the other side of the break, but still got batters to deal with. 2-0 is in there for a called strike on McKillop. Thought about checking on that one, but instead in there for a called strike. McKillop has seen Boonville in 3 games so far this year. He's got 2 hits and 9 at-bats, one of them a double for 2 RBIs. Here's the 2-1. Takes that one up high yet again, and the count runs to 3-1. McKillop came into this game with just 2 strikeouts and 9 ABs against Boonville. He's added 2 more into ABs here today. But he's on the verge of the walk. Here's the 3-1. That one way up high. He has to duck out of the way, and now runners on first and second. That brings up the first baseman Tyler Worth, who had the grand slam earlier in this game. And Lumberjacks got to be careful, as that's walk number 2 to McKillop. Worth himself has 2 walks on the day, strikeout and a ground out, as there's a meeting on the mound with Oliver Lawrence and his pitcher Eli Negron. Worth, coming into this game, leads the team in batting average at .343, on base percentage at .435, and hits with 24. Also the leader in runs batted in. Not an easy out here for Eli Negron, but he'll have to go through him. Some people finally warming in the Boonville bullpen, but looks like it'll be Negron's inning to finish. Here comes pitch number 1. Takes that one up high, fastball misses, and the count 0-1 now. Worth doesn't walk too much. He's got just 9 in 70 at-bats so far this year. Here's the 1-0. Takes that one up high yet again, and 2-0 the count.
Yeah, so Evan, I'm not just a play-by-play broadcaster. I'm also officially a sideline reporter. Just went down to the Boonville dugout to ask some questions about what happened. No ejection, none of that. He was arguing that he hit Oliver Lawrence's glove and that it should be interference on the catcher. However, that was not the call that they determined. Just a little frustrated at that, but nothing else. No real emotions stirred. And instead, it's just 1 out for the Lumberjacks, and Panepinto still out there.
So no ejection, actually. Still no ejections at Hanson Aggregates this year.
It's PGCBL ball, man. I don't see a reason to eject anyone.
So 2-1 the count on Worth after he fouled that last delivery off. Here comes the next pitch. Swings and hits this one down the first baseline, but foul and out of play, and the count all even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Almost all of the top 5 here of this Dragons lineup have RBIs, including 4 with David York. Worth himself has 1. Looking for more, as here comes the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. He got him out in front of that off speed, and a crucial out number 2 right there for Negron. Tyler Worth doesn't strike out too much, just 13 in 70 at-bats, but he gets him going right there for number 14.
Telling you, man, Eli Negron, he really might have to reconsider his role on this Lumberjack team. Sure, I like him in the lineup, but especially as the Lumberjacks are in need of pitchers, you might have to throw a few more bullpens and in-game performances as well.
So strikeout number 2 on the day for Worth brings up David York. Got to be careful. We've seen the power of York already today as the first pitch way outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It's 2 outs here in this top of the 8th inning. Eli Negron out there for his 3rd inning of work. Runners on first and second. It's Tyler McKillop and Rene Vega, both off of walks. 9-7 score. Glens Falls still ahead by 2. Want to know the count on York. Here's the pitch. Down low in the dirt yet again. This one gets away from Lawrence, and that's going to be an easy 90 feet for both of the runners on. So 2 in scoring position now for York.
Yeah, you got to make sure you don't throw any more to the backstop. That's pretty much the biggest concern right now, as a single would also score 2. Lumberjacks still trailing, can't let any more runs score. Got to make sure everything is blocked by the backstop, Oliver Lawrence.
York came into the day with no RBIs in his last 7 games, but already has 4. The 2-0 was swung on and hit high, but back and out of play. Just a long strike right there, and the count moves to 2-1. York, while he has struggled for RBIs, has been on base in 16 straight games. That's where he's excelled. He's also got that 460 slugging percentage. Likes the long ball with 3. Here's the 2-1 swung on and fouled back. That one hits off of the umpire, and the count moves all even 2-2 now.
He's taking some big hacks, man. I think he's trying to get home run number 2 on the day. I mean, he fouled that one off, and hopefully Negron continues to miss the barrel, because if he doesn't, the way he's swinging, he's trying to make it a 12-7 ball game.
Still 2 runs, however, the Lumberjacks within striking distance, and need to keep going in this one, but got to be careful not to send this one to extra innings, as I don't know if they have the arms to compete in that. Here comes the 2-2 from Negron. Down low in the dirt, and the count runs full.
Nice of Oliver Lawrence to make sure he gets in front of that one and blocks it, because again, any pass ball, wild pitch, anything of that sort is another run for Glens Falls.
York came into this game with 11 walks on the season. Do have a place to put him, as he already has walked in this one. Here comes the payoff. Swung on and fouled to the Glens Falls on deck circle. Nice snag made there by Tay Robinson, the right fielder, and the count remains full.
Yeah, I mean, if he does fail to get David York out here, you can kind of at least tack Tay Robinson, who struck out 3 times on the day already. Already got the sombrero. Eli Negron looking to give him the golden sombrero, one that no one wants to wear.
Some claps going around Hanson Aggregates. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Is this one lifted high into left field? Going back on this one is Haig, and he makes the catch right in front of the warning track for a nervy out number 3. They leave 2 in scoring position as the lead stays at 2 runs. Looks like that's going to be the day for Elijah Negron. 3 innings pitched with no earned runs. He comes in and does the job as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll be right back on the Lumberjack Sports Network after this. It's the 7, 8, 9, and 10 hitters up for the Lumberjacks here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Zeb Swangam, Noah Reed, Harrison Haig, and Oliver Lawrence, if it gets that far. First up, it's Swangam, who is 0 for 2 on the day with a hit by pitch, looking to get something going. Lumberjacks still trailing by 2. It's 9-7 here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Swangam stands in from the right side. Still Tyler Waygard out on the mound. Here's the first delivery. That one down low in the dirt gets away from the catcher Diaz, and count is 1-0. Swangam's been on base safely in 11 of the last 12 games. Most of them by walks. He's got 5 on the year, but a lot of hit by pitches as well. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and hit high into left field. Going back on this one is Barthel, who was playing in on that one, and that is off the wall. Swingham running around first. He goes to second as there's a throw to third. They don't even try to get Swingham, who's in there with a stand-up double.
Yeah, that's one of the deeper parts of the yard right there. I didn't think he got that off the bat. He agreed with me. He's off the very base of the wall right there, but hey, he's not complaining about a double, no way. Lumberjacks starting things off hot in the 8th.
Infield was playing Swingham very, very in. It was a long run there for Barthel and Panapinto to the warning track where that ball landed. And now a leadoff man on second for Noah Reed. Here comes the right fielder. First pitch from Waygard. Checks on that one. Did he go? I'll say he did not, but the strike in there anyway, so 0-1 the count. Reed so far today has singled twice as well as striking out. It's been his first multi-hit day in over a month. Here comes the 0-1. Takes that off speed in there for a called strike, clips the inside part of the zone. It's Noah Reed out there with a new bat. He had his wood bat broken by Devon Abaga just a couple of days ago in Utica. I was very frustrated as that's the second wood bat he's broken this year.
He's got to tap in with A-Town.
Waiting for that replacement bat to come through, but he's down 0-2 against Waygard. Runner on second, no outs. Here's the pitch. Swings and chops that one down the left line, out of play and foul, but stays alive.
Yeah, Waygard's showing him a steady diet of off speed. Hasn't given Reed the fastball yet. He's missed the first two and then fouled off that last offering. I wonder if he ever gives him the fastball or if continues going to the off speed. Right now, Waygard entirely control of the at-bat.
So pitch number 4 coming up. All of them strikes on Noah Reed, who's got 12 Ks on the year. Here comes the 0-2. Swings and hits this one to the left side. Picked up by Hoover. Throw over to first is not in time as Noah Reed beats it out for an infield single. That's his second infield single in his last 2 plate appearances, and still no outs for Harrison Haig.
You know, Noah Reed's had some at-bats where he's the leadoff hitter for a reason, or the one-hole hitter, I should say, because he's got that insane speed where if he just kind of flings the bat out for a ground ball, he can often beat it out. I was right. They go back to the off-speed yet again. They never give him a fastball. And what does he say to that? He sticks his bat up and takes first base.
A 3-for-4 day for Noah Reed. That's his most hits in a game this year. And here comes Harrison Haig. Had a single himself in his last at-bat, lofted into center. Here's the first pitch as he shows bunt, pulls back on it, and that one down low for ball 1. First baseman Tyler Worth running in quickly on that one, but couldn't get to it.
Haig here would be the go-ahead run. Obviously, he's showing bunt, but I like the small ball idea here as Noah Reed is the tying run. Get everyone into scoring position before the lineup is about to flip over after Oliver Lawrence.
Here comes the 1-0. Doesn't show bunt on that one. Takes it for strike 1 instead, and the count 1-1 now. Christian Griffin giving him the signs down there on that third baseline as there is some more movement in the Dragons bullpen. Someone throwing and in their full warm-up now, so this might be it for Waygard after this inning. Harrison Haig still got to deal with him, though. Here comes the 1-1. Shows bunt yet again, pulls back on it, and that one ball 2. 2-1 the count.
I like the good in unison coming from the Lumberjacks, just picking up every single batter on that team. I've kind of felt a comeback earlier when they didn't score with bases loaded in the 4th. I was a little concerned. But as far as momentum goes, I feel like it's all on the Lumberjack side.
Haig hasn't walked so far this year, but if he keeps pulling back on these bunts, he might. Here comes the 2-1, showing bunt yet again. Gets that one down the first baseline, but that one foul, and the count 2-2 now. Presumably no more bunts from Haig with 2 strikes in this at-bat. We'll see whether Christian Griffin wants to risk it. We haven't seen Haig lay the bunt down yet so far this year, and it's going to be Oliver Lawrence on deck, the backstop and 10-hole hitter, so might give him an opportunity with 2 runners in scoring position. Just got to put the ball in play here, avoid the strikeout. Haig's only got 1 on the season coming into today. Here comes the 2-2. Checks on that one. Did he go? Yes, he did. They'll say it came off the end of the bat. Call that a foul tip and out number 1.
The unfortunate sequence of events. Lumberjacks still in a good position here. It's Lawrence and then Guy still have 2 runners on. I wonder, the double steal worked earlier for the Lumberjacks. I wonder, Zeb Swangham, he can run. I wonder if they'll go back to it. Or if it's even a discussion worth having.
So it's Lawrence who has struck out twice and flown out. He's 0 for 3 on the day, but needs to put the ball in play right here. Here's the first pitch from Waygard. Takes that off speed in there for a called strike 1. Lawrence came into today with just 2 strikeouts in his 5 games this year, both of them coming in the last 2 games, and he's piled on a pair more. Down 0-1 early in this count. Here comes the pitch. Takes that one down low, off speed misses, and the count all even now.
That's back-to-back off speeds to Lawrence. I wonder how much of Waygard's pitching mix is just off speeds. I feel like no one's seeing a lot of fastballs.
Lawrence came into today with no RBIs to his name. This a great opportunity, however. 1-1 the count, runners on first and second, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Takes that one on the outside corner. It gets away from the catcher Diaz, and both runners will advance here. So 2 ducks on the pond now for the rookie catcher, and a good opportunity for his first RBI of the season.
Yeah, I said something about a double steal earlier and how it might be the right idea. Glens Falls just hand him the extra 90 feet for both runners. Now it's a great opportunity as the Glens Falls infield is going to come in.
So Lawrence could just lift one for a sac fly. He hasn't recorded an out in the air yet this season. They've all been on the ground. That's why the infield is in right here. He had his first fly out earlier on in this game and could use another one right here just to cut that lead down to 1 run. Waygard finally gets the sign from Diaz. Here comes the 2-1. Takes that one inside for a called strike, and 2-2 now the count on Lawrence.
It's 4 off-speed pitches to Lawrence. It's got to be messing with these hitters. I wonder if his fastball pitch is the 2-strike pitch.
And Lawrence with a 2-game extra base hit streak, both of them doubles, and could use another one right here. It would tie up the game at 9. Here comes the 2-2. Checks on that one down low in the dirt, but instead the count runs full, and now 3-2, just 1 out. He does have a place to put him over on first, but with runners on second and third here in this bottom of the 8th, not what you want to do if you're Waygard. This likely is the day for Waygard, at least after this inning. We'll see if he gets there as Lawrence calls time.
Yeah, best opportunity for Lawrence is right back up the middle. Both infielders. It's Hoover playing on the grass, but Vega playing further back. I'm not sure why he's not on the dirt. It's not like he's holding on Reed at second, but it gives a good opportunity with the middle infield open for Lawrence. If he can just get a ground ball up that way, it'd be a tie ball game.
3-2 the count. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swings and hits this one high into center field. Going back on this one is Panapinto, and he's underneath it. Tagging from third is Zeb Swangham as the throw over to third. Not nearly in time. Haig advances over there, and they've cut the lead down to 1. It's 9-8 after originally trailing by 9 runs. They're very back in this game. Runner on third for Jihad Guy now.
Yeah, Lawrence does a job. That's all he had to do was get a deep fly ball in the center of Panapinto. I don't think he ever thought about going home. He's got a cannon out there. Had a great throw to third, at least in terms of distance. Noah Reed obviously just a little too fast and beats that one out.
So first RBI of the season for Oliver Lawrence, as now it's Jihad Guy. Guy so far on the day 0 for 2, strikeout, ground out, but 2 walks as well. Both of those his last 2 plate appearances. 2 outs, runner on third is Noah Reed. Here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss on that one. Foul tips it into the glove and quickly down 0-1. Guy has seen the Glens Falls Dragons in 2 games so far this year. He's got 6 at-bats and 2 hits, both of them singles.
Could use a single right now. Doesn't strike out a lot. Is likely to put it in play.
Here comes the 0-1. Swings and fouls it to the backstop. Quickly down 0-2 now. And you mentioned it, he's got just 4 strikeouts all season.
Yeah, 5 after that first one, but again, he strikes out the lowest on the team by far. Other guys strike out 1 every 3. He strikes out 1 every 6 at-bats.
Hasn't had an RBI since June 6th. Looking for number 3 right here. Here's the 0-2. Swings and hits this one foul, back and out of play, and stays alive. Still down 0-2, however. Guys had to battle in a lot of these counts. Even in that first at-bat of the day, he ran up the pitch count on R.J. Enzel, the starter for the Glens Falls Dragons. Ultimately, Enzel would end up going 6 innings into that game, but helped to just run up that pitch count and create the avalanche that did happen in that 7-run 6th. Here comes the 0-2. That one outside for a called strike, and that will end the inning. Jihad Guy can't get the bat off the shoulder, but not before Boonville still do plate 1. It's 9-8 heading into this 9th inning. We'll be having the crunch time for you here on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. Back here for this top of the 8th inning, it's Elijah Negron whose day is done. 3 scoreless innings for him, no hits allowed, just 1 walk, and ultimately a new pitcher in the game. It's going to be Mason Michael for the Lumberjacks. We've only seen him twice so far this year. Comes into this game with a 10.8 ERA. His last appearance came just 2 days ago in Utica against the Blue Sox. 1 2/3 innings pitched for 2 hits, 2 earned runs, no strikeouts in that one, but ultimately with a depleted bullpen, this is who Christian Griffin turns to close the game, and he's got to keep it close if the Lumberjacks want to have a chance in this bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, his last performance against the Utica Blue Sox, I was thoroughly impressed. His first inning, he went out there, didn't give up a single run, and the circumstances in which he was pitching was that the Utica Blue Sox were up 9-0 and 8-0, and needed 2 runs to win the game. Well, he did end up getting those 2 runs in the second half of his performance. That's why it's only 0.2/3 inning pitched. He never got to finish the inning as it was considered a walk-off. It was a run rule win for the Blue Sox. But that first inning, he was fantastic. If he can replicate that same performance right here with the Glens Falls Dragons, the Lumberjacks absolutely have a chance.
So 3 strikeouts on the day for Elijah Negron. His day is done. First time he pitched all season as a position player primarily. And now this brings up Tay Robinson, the first batter that Michael will face in this game. 3 strikeouts already for the right fielder, 1 walk as well. Came into this game batting .219 as the first pitch skips in the dirt, gets away from Lawrence, and the count moves to 1 ball, no strikes. Has seen Boonville in 2 previous games so far this season, has 0 for 5 with 3 Ks, but has drawn the walk 3 times. Want to know the count on him here. Here's the pitch. Swings and hits this one high into shallow right field. This one going to go out and get into the Boonville bullpen, however. Giving chase was Jihad Guy and Carson Beatty, as well as the right fielder Noah Reed, but ultimately a long strike, and the count moves to 1-1. Robinson, a good hitter to hunt if you're the Lumberjacks. He leads the team in strikeouts with 27, including 3 already here tonight. He's on a 4-game strikeout streak with 8 in the span. As here comes the 1-1. Swings and hits this one into short, and Abaga drops that one. He thought he had it, but just couldn't grab it. And the left side of the infield produces the first error of the day. It's Tay Robinson, the beneficiary, and brings up Derek Diaz, the catcher.
Yeah, unorthodox from Abaga right there, a play that he usually makes. Guess he just, I don't know, thought ahead before the ball actually hit the end of his glove. Hopefully not a costly error. Would hurt the Lumberjacks absolutely if that results in a few runs.
Here's the first pitch on Derek Diaz. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Still got the bottom of the order to play with if you're Michael. It's Diaz, Ploppert, Barthel, and Hoover, the 7 through 10 hitters of this lineup. Here comes the 1-0. Runner goes from first. Lawrence's throw is in the dirt and not in time. Good pick by Guy to make sure that didn't get into center, but a stolen base nonetheless.
Yeah, hopefully not a repeat performance of last night's contest where the game was close heading into the final inning, but it was an early error that allowed the Blue Sox to kind of pile it on. Lumberjacks need to bounce back right here and make sure that the runner doesn't score on second. And Tay Robinson.
1-1 the count on Diaz. Here comes the next pitch. Taken outside for ball 2. Fastball misses. Diaz on the day 0 for 3 with a walk. Like most of these Glens Falls hitters, has drawn the free pass today, but Michael's got to be careful not to put him on here. Here's the 2-1. Taken outside yet again. Lawrence tries to frame that one, but to no avail, and the count moves to 3 balls, 1 strike. Diaz doesn't walk at an above-average rate. He's got 9 in 21 games played so far this season. Added on that one more earlier on in this game, but he's quickly ahead 3-1. Here's the pitch from Michael. Swung on and hit to the left side. Abaga dives, but he can't find that one. It's into left and waving, actually getting the stop sign there at third is Tay Robinson. Really wanted to go on that one as he continues to argue that he should have been able to, but nonetheless, it's a single from Derek Diaz. Runners on the corners, no outs.
Yeah, now the Lumberjacks in a bit of a scary position. You just mentioned it, runners on the corners and no outs. It could have been 1 runner on first and 1 out. It's going to be hard for them to go the rest of this inning without giving the Glens Falls Dragons another run.
So still 8-9-10 though, bottom of the order before it flips over for the Dragons. First man up is Jack Ploppert, third batter of the inning. So far today, 1 for 2, strikeout, ground out, and a single, as well as a walk in that top of the first inning. Mason Michael looks at the runner on third before delivering. That one inside on Ploppert, called for ball 1. Ploppert, no stranger to the Lumberjacks this season. He's got 3 games played against them, just 1 hit and 3 walks in 7 plate appearances. Want to know the count on him here. Here's the delivery from Mason Michael. Wants to check on that one. Did he go? Answer is no, and the count moves to 2 balls, no strikes.
Mason Michael just struggling a little bit right here. Could have used the strike call right there. I mean, I think what you got to hope for now is just a ground ball double play and succeed the run that comes from third.
They've got to keep it close. It's a 1-run game right now going into this bottom of the 9th inning, but Michael trying to keep it that way. Here's the next pitch. 2-0 is in there for a called strike. 2-1 the count now. Ploppert so far on the day doesn't have any RBI. He's only got 4 on the year, but looking for number 5. 2-1 the count with runners on the corners, no outs. Mason Michael set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit high, but that one gets out of play. So 2-2 the count now. Mason Michael hunting for that strikeout. We know the strikeout is not his primary weapon as a pitcher, but he did have a couple in that Utica game.
Yeah, if he can get one right here, that would be fantastic. You said it's true. He's facing the bottom of the lineup. But with the runners on first and third, he'll really need to pull something out of a bag of magic tricks to get an out right here.
Could use the K right here. It's a 2-2 count on Ploppert. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. He got him right there. And Mason Michael with a crucial out right there. And it brings up the 9th hitter in this order, Billy Barthel.
Yeah, clutch is a understatement in that scenario. There's runners on first and third. Now a double play ball can get you out of it. I feel like Mason Michael, what he's trying to get after is he's trying to pound the bottom of the zone. Right there was the changeup. So even if Floppert does make contact on that, it's likely a weak ground ball with a double play opportunity.
Strikeout number 9 for the Lumberjacks as in comes Barthel, the left fielder. Here's the first pitch as the runner goes from first, swings and hits this one down the left side, but that one foul and out of play.
Yeah, best part about that is now the runner has to go back to first. I assume he will still be taking off. Lumberjacks, is it too risky to get the throw down? I don't know. I trust Abaga and Guy as the middle infielders, but I hope they have a solid plan for whatever that Diaz wants to do on first.
Yeah, both of those middle infielders pinched in a little bit. One to grab the bag, one to cover behind it and make sure that run doesn't score with Robinson at third. Here comes the 0-1. Takes in the dirt yet again. Lawrence gets on top of it, though, and the count moves to 1-1. Barthel today, 1 for 3. He's got fly out, a double, and a ground out. Not his strongest day at the plate, but coming in batting 173 with just 8 hits in 20 games. Okay production from the outfielder. Here comes the 1-1 as the runner does go yet again, but this one popped up high into the infield. Davon Abaga into shallow left field and grabs that one. The runner, Robinson, takes off from third, but ultimately pulls up on it as a good throw from Abaga right there would have gotten him, and another crucial clutch out right there from Mason Michael.
Yeah, great sequence of events right there. He gets jammed and skies that one. Abaga, great awareness to go out and get that ball. Harrison Haig can't really do anything but listen to the shortstop, and that's what he does. And then I like the idea to fake the tag home, but it's ultimately the right decision to fake it because Abaga's throw was perfectly on line and would have gotten Robinson had he tried to go home.
So it's Shane Hoover, the last hitter in this lineup for the Glens Falls Dragons. Mason Michael with 2 clutch outs in a row. That runner still at first, Derek Diaz, and Robinson over at third, knocking on the door. Here's the first pitch. Checks on that one, but it's in there for a called strike regardless, and Hoover down 0-1. Hoover's had 4 at-bats in this one. He's 1 for 4 with a double. Ultimately would come around to score on that double, however.
He's been making hard contact every time at the plate. This is a scary at-bat.
Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Got him on that one and quickly down 0-2. Oh, going to home and getting in there was Robinson. Caught him sleeping.
Yeah,
Lawrence wasn't sure what happened right there as looks like he didn't even realize it. It looks like he got him on the throw back to the mound, and an unfortunate one right there as Glens Falls capitalized. It's 10-8.
Yeah, oftentimes Oliver Lawrence doesn't throw the ball back to the mound with very much velocity, and he kind of just lobs it to Mason Michael. Robinson never goes back to third, catches him sleeping, and straight steal of home.
So still 0-2 on Hoover. That one in there for a called third strike, and that will end the inning, but does soften the feeling a little bit that they surrender that run number 10, but Mason Michael keeps it at a 2-run deficit. Lumberjacks have an opportunity to win this game in the bottom of the 9th. We'll have that for you and more on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Boonville Lumberjacks Sports Network. Last chance here for the Lumberjacks, and they'll see a new arm out on the mound for the Glens Falls Dragons. It's Dominic Whiteman, who comes in with 8 appearances, 9 1/3 innings pitched with a 7.71 ERA. Not exactly the closer profile that you're usually going to be looking against, but he has faced the Lumberjacks in one previous appearance. That came all the way back on June 20th with 2/3 of an innings pitched with 4 hits allowed, 7 runs, 6 of them earned, as well as 1 strikeout. This is a pitcher that they've attacked before, that they've had success with before, and have an opportunity to maybe get a walk-off right here.
Yeah, I really got to give a shout-out to the Glens Falls Dragons right fielder, Tay Robinson. Such a heads-up play to steal home right there and give Glens Falls that extra added run of insurance. Lumberjacks, 2 runs possible. Again, it's heard of. It's not impossible, but we'll need a few things to go right, starting with Devon Abaga getting on.
So it's Devon Abaga who committed the error that ultimately would lead to that run in the top of the 9th inning. He's got an opportunity to make up for some of that here. It's Abaga, then Michael Clarkson, the extra hitter, and then Masai Marshall, the 3 batters that we will see, hopefully more behind them. But it's going to be Abaga out there first. He's reached on an error himself, as well as walking and singling with a strikeout as well. Had a spot at Seattle University, didn't end up playing in his freshman year. But he's been having a good summer out here with the Lumberjacks. Pitched yesterday, and now out here hitting today. Here's the first pitch from Whiteman. Takes that one up high for ball 1. Fastball misses. Abaga coming into today had just 1 hit in his last 6 games. Did finally get one here, but he hasn't had a multi-hit game since June 21st against Utica.
Lumberjacks still searching for their first walk-off win of the year.
Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and fouled to the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
And they've had a few opportunities. Technically any bottom of the 9th, but some close games. They failed to do it against Oneonta, failed to do it against Utica, failed to do it against the Diamond Dogs. Right now, a depleted Glens Falls team, that would be the opportunity to get that win, break the 7-game losing streak.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit high to the broadcast booth. It's off the bottom, and the count moves to 1-2. Half of Abaga's hits have been doubles so far this year. 4 of his 8, along with 1 triple as well. Could use another one of those right here just to get a man in scoring position to lead off this inning, but he's quickly down 1-2. Whiteman hunting for that first K to set the tone. Looks at Diaz for the sign, finally gets it. The 1-2. Taken down low for ball 2. Off speed misses, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Did you hear how silent the ballpark just got right before that pitch?
Pin drop.
Everyone is only focused on the batter. I love this.
It's been 7 straight losses for the Lumberjacks. They haven't won in the month of July yet, including 2 close losses against Utica yesterday, their rivalry game. 2-2 the count on Abaga. Here's the pitch. Takes that one up high, and that's going to be a called 3rd strike. Abaga knew it, and that is out number 1 of the inning. It brings up Michael Clarkson.
Yeah, got to get the bat off your shoulders in a moment like that. Abaga knew it. It's an off-speed pitch. It's a great off-speed pitch, but one that you got to try and jump on. Give your guys a chance.
Second strikeout of the day for Abaga. 1 swinging, 1 looking, and it brings up the extra hitter Michael Clarkson, who has been hit by a pitch twice, walked, and struck out. A little bit of everything from Clarkson. Here comes the first pitch from Weidman. Takes that one in there for a called strike. The off-speed in there yet again.
Do you hear someone yell, runner? Hey, anything to give the Lumberjacks that extra advantage. I don't mind it.
So 0-1 the count on Clarkson.
It had me looking for a second, too.
Here comes the pitch. Watches that off-speed go in there for strike 2 as well, and Clarkson quickly down to his last. He's no stranger to the Dragons. He's got 3 at-bats in 2 games played, including a homer with 4 RBIs and a hit-by pitch. Could use another one of those Big Mike homers right here.
Well, I've been really attacking the zone, though. He's showing complete control right now.
Ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit foul and out of play right towards the third base coach, Christian Griffin. And they'll do it once again. It's Clarkson, who had a season-best 4 RBI in his last game played against Mohawk Valley with a 2-run shot and a 2-run double. He's been kept pretty quiet today with just the 2 hit-by pitches and a walk as he steps out to take time, something in his eye yet again, and really could use a runner right here.
You know, Evan, I'd like for the Lumberjack dugout to be a little louder. I mentioned it was dead silent, which right before the pitch makes sense. But, I mean, your guy is 0-2 right now. You're very well in this game. Make some noise. Cheer on your guy. And not just Eli Negron.
0-2 the count to Clarkson. Here comes the pitch from Weidman. Takes that one way outside, and the count moves to 1-2.
I mean, if this was Utica, I imagine all of them would be cheering and screaming. They have to keep that same energy for everyone.
Clarkson doesn't walk too much. His walks in the last game were his first in just about a week. Has followed that up on back-to-back days, and here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss way out in front of that off speed, and the Lumberjacks quickly down to their final out. It's Masai Marshall, and he will need to get on, lest the Lumberjacks will drop 8 straight.
Yeah, now it all comes down to Masai Marshall. Abaga and Clarkson both go down via strikes. Credit to Weidman. He's really attacking the zone, and his slider seems to be the pitch that's working. If I'm Masai Marshall, that's what I'm looking for. I know it's the classic is to look for the fastball, but in the first 2 batters he showed, he prefers that slider. I could very well see a first pitch slider here. Try and jump on it.
Here comes the first pitch on Masai Marshall. Swings and hits this one out of play. 0-1 the count. And Weidman, who already has 2 strikeouts in this one, hasn't relied too heavily on them in this whole season. He's got just 5 of them in 8 total games played across this PGCBL summer, but he's been able to effectively strike out the Lumberjacks here in this one. He's ahead of Masai Marshall, 0-1. Here's the next delivery. That one down low in the dirt as the count moves to 1-1 now. Marshall tapping his chest over at Christian Griffin as they need something to get going here. Lumberjacks squarely in last place with those 2 losses yesterday. A win over Glens Falls could see them overtake the Dragons in the standings and move up to 6th place, but they need a runner on first. It's 1-1 the count on Marshall. Here comes the pitch. That one down low in the dirt yet again. The fastball misses, and the count moves to 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, Marshall spitting on everything he didn't like. You know, I was right. He jumped on the first pitch off speed but fouled it back. Since then, got the off speed. Only just then saw the fastball. You know, if the best pitch for Weidman is the slider, that's still what I'm looking for. Just be ready to adjust the fastball if needed.
2-1. Here's the pitch. That one fastball that clips the upper part of the zone, and quickly Lumberjacks down to their final strike. That's Marshall, who has struck out in 9 of his 13 games played so far this season. Hasn't had one in this game yet and needs to avoid it here, or else the Lumberjacks will go down 7 straight games. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and just got a piece of that one. Fouled to the catcher Diaz, and he stays alive, but barely.
Whatever you can do to stay alive, and I'm kind of sad. Masai Marshall's always the one in the dugout who's cheering on his guys. Right now, I wish that they would be as loud for him as he is for them.
7 straight entering the game. They need to get loud, or else this will become number 8. Crucial matchups in July. Weidman ready. Here's the 2-2. Checks on that one, but it's down low in the dirt. Away yet again, and the count runs full now. It's going to be Carson Beatty on deck, then Will Hill, Zeb Swangham, should we get that far. But first, it's Masai Marshall, the Northwestern transfer, that needs to get on. Takes a big, deep breath before stepping in the box for this one. Taps both sides of home plate. Umpire makes sure everyone knows it's a full count here. Weidman stares down his catcher Diaz, waiting for the sign. Infield playing slightly back as the payoff pitch looms. Here it comes. Swung on and just got a piece of that one yet again. And he stays alive. They'll do it once more.
Yeah, he's fighting, man. He's gonna make him earn it no matter what. Just I wish this energy could be a little more contagious. Masai Marshall, I mean, I think if I was down to my last out, I think I would want Masai Marshall up there. He always has competitive at-bats at least, and as you're seeing right here, he's got as good a chance to get on base as anyone.
3-2 the count, as you can cut the tension with a knife here at Hanson Aggregates. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit above the second baseman Vega's head, and that one's going to get down for a hit. Marshall quickly goes over to first to make sure he doesn't get thrown out by the right fielder, and the tying run, Carson Beatty at the plate now.
That's what I'm saying, man. I want Masai Marshall up at the plate, just someone who doesn't go down without a fight. He does it right there, lines one to the opposite part of the plate. Just keep giving your guys a chance, whatever it takes to get that energy to be contagious. Just however it happens, get on base. If it has to be Marshall doing it, he'll do it. Now it's time for Carson Beatty.
Second hit of the day for Marshall, both of them singles, and it brings up Carson Beatty, who's 0 for 4 on the day. 2 strikeouts, ground out and a fly out. Here comes the first pitch from Weidman. Takes that one down low, called for a strike, however. Hits the bottom part of the zone.
He's gone first pitch slider to every single batter. The Lumberjacks got to be looking for that. I imagine he does it right here. You know, Marshall's hit came off the fastball, but his go-to pitch is the off speed.
0-1 the count to Beatty. Here's the pitch. That one taken way inside, and the count moves to 1 ball, 1 strikes on Beatty, who's reached base safely in 6 of his 8 games played this year. Still is looking for that first trip on the base paths in this one, and needs to extend this game just so the Lumberjacks have a chance. It's Will Hill on deck, and Zeb Swangam after him, should it go that far. Here's the 1-1. Taken outside, ball 2, fastball misses. And the big lefty, who hasn't had a home run yet in this game, or in this season, one double, his lone extra base hit, but he could use the long ball right now.
Yeah, his double yesterday, I told him, hey, you got a barrel. He said, no, that's not a barrel. That's off the end of the bat. If he barrels one, he could hit it into the trees.
Here comes the 2-1. Takes that one outside for another ball. The fastball just keeps missing high and away, and quickly 3-1 to Beatty.
Yeah, he has the luxury to not swing at a pitch he doesn't like right here. 3-1, he'll take a walk. I see Will Hill on deck. That's another guy that I would want at the plate. So Beatty has got to be perfect. Otherwise, don't swing at anything you don't like.
3-1 the count on Beatty. Here's the pitch. Takes that one outside yet again, and that's going to be ball 4. Runners on first and second. It's the winning run, Will Hill at the plate now, and big situation for the freshman transfer out of the University of Texas. We've seen his power just little by little. It was a home run against Saugerties in an ultimate win over the defending champs. His only homer of the year, and he needs one right here. If he could just keep passing the stick, that would do the job as well. But after Hill, it's Zeb Swangam, Noah Reed, Harrison Haig, Oliver Lawrence before the lineup flips over, but it can't get that far. We'll either get a walk-off.
Yeah, Hill had the bases clearing triple earlier in the game. He's part of the reason why this game is even competitive. No better moment than right now. He is the winning run. If he could clear the bases, we're at least tied. Again, give your guys a chance and don't go down without a fight. Finally, it took 2 guys on, but now the Lumberjacks dugout is a little louder.
Finally getting some noise here at Hanson Aggregates, as some of the fans getting into this one as well. It's still Whiteman out there on the mound to face Will Hill, the righty. Here comes the first pitch. Swings and hits this one down the left field line. That one going to be fair. Coming around and scoring is Masai Marshall, as that one stuck in the corner. Beatty coming around third, and they're calling it foul. I can't believe it. They're calling that a foul ball. That one I thought was pretty clearly to the right side of the bag, and robbing this team of what would have been a game-tying double right there by Will Hill.
Oh, I
Coach
can't believe
Christian Griffin
it.
is beside himself down there arguing with this
I
umpire.
can't believe it.
And unbelievable here, as that one looked to be a fair ball, looked to be the tying runs for this team, but instead it's just a long strike for Will Hill.
That's 2 nights in a row where the Lumberjacks are kind of screwed by a questionable call late in the game. Man, it bounced in fair territory and goes over the bag. I don't unless I'm wrong, that's a fair ball. I'm pretty sure that's the ruling. I don't know, man.
So Will Hill has to face the adversity here and do it yet again. Now he's down 0-1. The pitcher Whiteman has been given a new lease on life in this game. Still 2 outs, runners on first and second. Here's the 0-1. That off-speed way inside, but instead called for a strike, and quickly Will Hill is down 0-2. He doesn't strike out too much. He started the season as the strikeout leader, but has calmed it down in recent games. So far today, he hasn't gotten a K, and down 0-2 needs to defend the plate just to keep this game alive. Whiteman finally gets the sign from his catcher Diaz. Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and hit to the pitcher's mound. Whiteman's got it. He throws it over to first in time as the first baseman Worth steps on the bag, and in what could have been a game-tying double right there, instead it's loss number 8 in a row for the Boonville Lumberjacks as they go down by a final score of 10-8 here in this one and continue to entrench themselves in last place in the PGCBL East.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to leave it in the umpire's hands to begin with. I mean, 5-run first inning, it's hard to come back from that. Obviously, the Lumberjacks weren't in a great position to begin with, given all the bullpen arms. I'm really impressed with Will Hill's at-bats today. I am especially impressed with Eli Negron, who, upon being called on, was incredible in his 3 innings of work. I expect him to pitch more for the Lumberjacks, whether he wants to or not. He's solidified himself as someone who can eat a few innings. You know, Glens Falls Dragons, the bats came alive. They took advantage of the hit-by pitches. They took advantage of the walks. That early grand slam, again, it's a killer, but, you know, ultimately just too many of these Lumberjack games look like this where it's not even close, and then they come back too late. Playing from behind is not a recipe for success. So even though they almost got it tonight, they got to start taking early leads and taking control earlier than they do.
Ultimately, it was that 5-run top of the first inning. It was the grand slam from David York that ultimately would open this game up. It would remain 5-0 until they continued to tack on runs, ultimately pushing that lead all the way up to 9. And then it was a 7-run bottom of the 7th inning by the Lumberjacks. Got back into it before surrendering 1 in the top of the 9th inning. Then they would get 1 in the bottom of the 9th before getting called a questionable foul ball on what could have been a game-winning double right there, maybe even a triple for Will Hill, would have been his 2nd of the day. But instead they go down 8 losses in a row, and this team in a bit of a funk right now.
Yeah, you got to go back to Utica now, still with the very depleted bullpen. I'm not sure who they throw out tomorrow, but, I mean, it's back-to-back rough nights here in Boonville. I mean, that's really 8 rough nights in a row, but these 2 especially definitely hurt a little bit. But I don't know. I don't have much else. The defense looked good, you know, minus an error from Abaga late, but still a lot of questions. Lumberjacks 8-18 is, of course, not a great record. Just lots of questions moving forward.
Lumberjacks were able to create 10 strikeouts on the mound, but also did strike out 11 times at the plate, left the bases loaded twice in this one, as well as leaving 2 on in that bottom of the 9th inning. And they just really need to find a way to win. We've talked about it in the past that heading to Utica has seemed like the reset for this team. It happened before where they headed to Utica in the beginning of the year when they started off 2-9 and ultimately would rip off 5 wins in a row after that. That's what they're going to have to hope that game is tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, whoever going, whether it's Forward or Albright, kind of falls down to them to be the guy to hit the reset button on this team. I don't know. Seriously, my MVP today is Eli Negron. He was fantastic in his innings of work. Good to know that he can do that.
Yeah, it looks to be Garrett Albright in what is probably his last start of the PGCBL summer. He looks to be headed back home before getting a college decision out there, but hopefully one more strong start from him. We know he's pitched in Utica before, so familiar surrounding for him, but just needs to go out there and shove, and this team really just needs to get back into the win column.
Yeah, I mean, 8-18 obviously doesn't look good, but that's all I have for you tonight, Evan.
Yeah, ultimately 9 hits, by the Lumberjacks, 3 of them by Noah Reed, all of them singles on his part. It was a 3-run RBI triple by Will Hill as well. Those were the highlights, but really not too much outside of that. Leaving the bases loaded twice in 2 innings and leaving 13 on yesterday. That was the real killer in that game, but it was not another great performance from the Lumberjacks, and they really just need to get back into the win column. The strikeouts, the runners left on base. Hopefully they can get that together tomorrow in Utica. We won't have a broadcast for you. We're not allowed to go in Utica, but it should be a fun game. Make sure to tune in on the Utica Blue Sox YouTube channel. First pitch is going to be at 6:45 p.m. tomorrow, and tune in to the Boonville Lumberjacks on Instagram and Facebook at Boonville Lumberjacks for more live updates during that game. That's going to be it for us here in the broadcast booth. Final score 10-9, 10-8, excuse me. Glens Falls take this one, and that will do it. 8 straight losses for the Lumberjacks as they hope to right the ship tomorrow. Evan Simbita signing off for Brady Foxwell here at Dr. Robert Smith Sports Complex. Thank you for sticking with us, and hope you have a great rest of your night.